Here we are. It is the 17th of April in the year of our Lord, 2024. This is the weekly Alaboom. I have some minor uh, grievances there at some point. Um, uh, Gathering of friends is going on right now, I believe. So I don't think Aldio is going to show up unless he just happens to show up on his phone or something like that.
Or Matt.
Or
Yeah,
Matt,
we're at.
because they're super cool and they get to go to Gathering of Friends.
Because they have friends.
Yeah.
Well,
Um, yeah. So there you go. So where are you located again there, Barry? You're in the around Philadelphia?
I am in Newark, Delaware, which is about 40 miles south of Philly. But I'm originally from Philly.
Have you ever been to a store called Runehammer?
Runehammer? I do not believe so. What is that, a game store?
Yeah, it's a game store apparently like 5 minutes away from where they have the PAX Unplugged.
Okay. Um, yeah, it's a newer one then. If it's down there by the convention center.
I'm gonna
I know
guess
there
from
was
you.
one in universities out by where the UP is and all that. But I've never been to that. I've actually never been in a game store in Philly. Outside of Philly, like in the suburbs, but not in Philly itself. I didn't get into the hobby till I was outside of the city. You know, I
I
was
got it.
like 30. Yeah, probably 30 when. Well, yeah, me and Jen met when I was 30, so it was after 30 when I got into it. Philly's, oh, I'm sure New York's the same way. Each neighborhood's like they stay in their own lane. They don't cross over too much. It's you don't really go outside of it too much. Um,
Interesting.
I was actually thinking, I was watching a thing on New Orleans, and one of the locals was saying that in the 80s, 20% of like the city income was through tourism. And then now it's like closer to 60%. And I remember like in the 90s and the early 2000s, Philly running a bunch of campaigns for that to boost their tourism. And I'm wondering like how many states did that or, major cities did that back in the day to boost the tourism and how much they really rely on tourism now. I heard Chicago's a lot like that too.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't really know. The only reason I ask is because there's the guy who owns the store and what have you. He he's also a role playing game designer and stuff like that, and we might be working with him to make some minis for his stuff. So it's one of those things where it's like he mentioned the store, and I was like, wait a minute, I know somebody who might have seen the store.
Uh, what was it? Warhammer or not Warhammer? What'd you say?
Runehammer.
Runehammer? I'll have to look it up. I don't really like going to the city anymore.
No, the city doesn't really like you being there either. So
They're not open.
It's changed a lot since there's shootings all the time and shit now. It's really rough these days. The last 5 or 6 years it got really rough up there. Like people finding people in car trunks and shit again. Thought we got rid of that with the mobs. Yeah, back in the 80s and 90s, but apparently not.
They haven't opened yet, Lance.
That's why I've never been there.
Runehammer isn't open yet.
No, are opening in May.
Oh,
So they were online.
Is there an address there, Anthony?
Yeah, they're at, let's see. Ba, 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 2401 Frankfurt Avenue.
24. Okay. It's Fishtown. All right.
Fishtown.
Yeah. It's out by the river. Um, all right. Yeah, that might be 24. Oh no, wait, that's Northern.
Fans of Dungeons and Dragons will soon have a new place to participate in role-playing games, and it's in a secret room on Frankfurt Avenue. The room
Ooh.
hidden behind a swinging bookcase is part of Runehammer, a bookstore expected to open in late May at 2401 Frankfurt Avenue at East York Street. The shop
Yeah,
will
that
carry
is.
role-playing and wargaming books and supplies, as well as fantasy and sci-fi books, and offer workshops. Once the hidden back room is constructed, with its own 8-sided rotating table, it will be one of the coolest places to play D&D on the planet, said owner Brandon Gillum.
Mhm.
There you go.
That's not that far from my brother. Maybe comparatively like 10 miles. Maybe I'll go next time I go up there. I'll check it out if it's open.
Interesting.
Yeah, but
Um,
no, that city's a mess. They're having trouble with 95 again and shit. It's just a mess to travel up there.
you just don't like being around people.
No, where he's talking about, I've been there many times. I've jacked many a trolley up at the right by there. You know.
Is that what you're calling it now?
Yes.
Jacked many a trolley at $5 a trolley.
That that was probably about 3 grand an hour at that point. You know, I mean,
Color me interested now. If you're getting that much,
Made $100.25.
Mhm.
Who the hell gave you 25 cents? Every single one of them.
every single one of them. Classic, classic joke. Um, hmm, good stuff. Um,
So
well,
I gotta tell you something, a funny story while we're waiting for grievances.
okay, yeah, go for it.
So there was a posting on Facebook of a company here in New England area, that it doesn't pay very well, but it was just really interesting. So it's to make LARPing equipment. There's a company in Massachusetts, about 60 miles from my house, and they manufacture like swords and armor and shields and all that stuff, and they're looking to hire some.
Doing
Nice.
what?
You can
What are
make
they
S
looking at?
words. Make some
Make
S words.
Yeah, so they need people to basically build swords and stuff.
Um,
What I never like I see them in the store. My game store around the corner has a bunch of that up high. I see them, but I haven't like really touched them or anything. Are they metal or are they wood?
No,
What
they're
are they?
rubber.
Rubber? Okay.
so
So is
so
it
here
Nerf
here's
sword basically?
so here's a grievance that I'll share. And this is nothing new. So I mean, this isn't like really like, oh my gosh, look how annoying this thing is that everybody probably before me has said this is really annoying. So we were cleaning out my we're cleaning out our garage, just getting rid of stuff, putting stuff like into bags that we would um you know take to the Goodwill and what have you. And then also stuff that was just garbage, and then like putting all the garbage together. So theoretically, I'll drive to the dump. I'll throw everything in the back of the pickup, which is pretty sweet actually, because you drive in and then they weigh your pickup, and then you drive to like there's there an area I've told you the stories about me trying to like throw away those carpets before, but
Nobody's
you
been to a
throw
dump
in
before, Lance.
to where all the dumpsters are of the different things, and they say, yeah, throw that stuff there, throw that stuff there, throw that stuff there, and then you go and you throw that stuff away, and then and then you drive out and they weigh your pickup on the way out, or truck or whatever on the way out, and then they charge you by the weight, so like how much you spent. It's so it works well. But anyway, that is what I'm talking about. So there was like a handful of things that were like, let's get rid of this stuff. Like I had this old like uh bow curve front aquarium maybe 35 gallon, maybe 29 gallon. It was a smaller one. And I didn't have a filter for it anymore, but I still had the light and the top, and like, there was even still gravel in it, because I hadn't cleaned it all out. And I was like, okay, well, my wife said, well, that's still worth some money. And then we had like some leftover tiling for a bathroom that we did, and it was just we were left with like we got too much of it, and so we had like 3 boxes of these marble tiles or whatever. So she's like, well, put them on Facebook Marketplace. And I was like, I've never done this before. And she's like, well, just put them on Facebook Marketplace and see what we can get for it. And I was like, well, okay. And aquariums, I got on there, and aquariums are like for sale all the time. Somebody gets an aquarium, thinks they're gonna love it, thinks they're gonna enjoy, but then they realize it's a bunch of maintenance and it's annoying, and they're giant and they're heavy, and it's just so they don't want to do it anymore. And so they end up. So I was like, I don't know, $25 for this aquarium, and then the tile actually was worth some money, so we put the tile up there for $50. And now I know why you don't sell anything online or Facebook Marketplace. And I know why, like, if you want to buy something on Facebook Marketplace, one of the first things a lot of people say is, I will not answer Facebook messages that say, is this still available? Like, because like that is the standard response of the thing, where it's like, because one of the things, if you want to ask a question about somebody, one of the first things you can do is you can hit the question. The first thing, one of the options of the
Is this available?
Is this still available?
Default.
Yeah, it's like a default thing. So I eventually sold both of the things, in the course of a couple of days, and which fine, cool. People came over and grabbed the stuff or whatever. But it was like, I never understand people that ask questions and I literally answered 30 seconds later and then they don't respond back. I had not one, but 2 people try to scam me. Like, people like, oh, hey, if I send you a 6-digit code, will you give it to me so I know you're for real? And then they actually get like Facebook to send you an authentication code, like, you are trying to log in from this thing. Here's your 6-digit code. Don't give it out to anybody. And just like, yeah, I'll block your number. You're out of here. That kind of thing. And so you just kind of, But the thing that was annoying was one person that wanted the aquarium. They're like, oh yeah, I really want it. I really want it. I'm actually like I live really close to you. I'll be by in just a little bit. They pulled up. She leaned out the window because I was like, okay, cool. So I just picked up the aquarium and I brought it down to the edge of my driveway so I'd be able to load it up and get the $25 or whatever. Pulled up, she's like, oh, I've changed my mind, and then just drove away. And I was like, okay, whatever. The next guy showed up a little later, and then didn't follow it. Oh, Kabuki Kids. So what they do is they try to they ask you for your phone number to like call you, and then they say, I'm worried that she's like, I didn't follow that scam explanation. So they ask you for your phone number. And then, which is fine, because I talked to one person on the phone to do something, but it was like, they asked you for your phone number, and then they basically try to log in as you on Facebook, and then say, hey, it's me, please send me a code. So a lot of times there's a second authentication type of thing for Facebook to like reset your passwords. And then Facebook sends your phone number a text message that says, don't share this code with anyone. But here's your 6-digit code or whatever, to like change your password or whatever it is. And so then they're like, okay, well, I sent you a 6-digit code. And I'm like, no, you didn't. Facebook sent me one. Well, yeah, that's the one. Oh, you mean the one that says don't share with anybody? And then they told me to go F my mother. So it was just like, so that was over when they realized that I wasn't going to give them my
mother has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, just like, no. So like that, but it was like that. But then like the next guy showed up, and he was just like, yeah, hey, actually, I had to drop off my tools at work or whatever, but I'll be by and pick up the aquarium. And I was like, cool. And this guy pulls up, his dog come out, and his dog was out. The dog was super nice, and and he was just in there. He was super friendly. He was like, "Yeah, it looks good." You know, my daughter had he starts like I forget he's like mud puppies. It's the type of fish or whatever. He's like, "Yeah, you know, she needs an aquarium of her own. I got to get those fish out of that one and into this one. This will work perfectly. Thanks a lot. This is a really good price." And then he was like, 25 bucks. I was like, yeah, 25 bucks. And he's like, and he only had like 30 bucks on him. And he's like, just whatever, keep it. Yeah, don't worry about it. And I was like, all right, cool. And then he proceeded to tell me how he got arrested for a DUI the other day. Started telling me about his life. Yeah, you know, and then they made me take my glasses off, and I was trying to walk a straight line, and I couldn't see anything. And now they're saying I'm drunk because I couldn't see anything, and I was walking. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, whatever. You know, just like I always love those people to feel like, hey, I feel some sort of weird connection to you. So now I'm gonna tell you about like what's been going on with me for the last 5, 6 days. But he was nice. So and then but yeah, and then the tiling was I had so many people like ask me, is this still available? Is this still available? Yeah, it's still they're sitting in my garage. And then like you put a picture up there, like right on the label on the tile that says it is 12 inches by 11 point like 8 inches each sheet. And they're like, how big is each sheet? It's like what I mean, just so I send them the exact same picture that's on the listing, you know, so that they just already looked at. But yeah, but anyway, just yeah, got rid of a couple of things, but like for the $75 or whatever, it was just kind of like, what's the point? You know, I mean, like seriously, it's just like
Yeah.
it was, you know, like and I was thinking, wow, this is really easy. I should like think about like doing this like to sell some games or something like that. Wouldn't that be it? No, after that like, is this what game is it? How does that work? What is this thing? No chance.
Would you
No
consider
chance.
trades?
Yeah, are you interested in trades? No, no, I am not. That's the other thing too. They're like, oh yeah, it's like, will you take a check? No, I will not take a check. I will take cash. I will take cash money. Will you take a third party out of state cashier's check? No,
Hmm.
no, I will not. I will,
Bitcoin?
yeah,
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah,
Got a couple NTFs laying around.
yeah.
I was thinking about that. I took Chad out the other day. It was her birthday. And we got out, and I was like, I forgot to get cash for the tip. So I'm looking at my wallet. Oh, yeah, like 20 bucks. Luckily, it was enough to cover it. But I don't carry cash like that anymore. But I use cash all the time to buy weed. It's kind of odd.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Can't you just like if you use a card, can't you just add the tip onto the?
I like to do the tip in cash. It's it's just the way I am. That way they don't have to report it if they don't want to. You know, it's not getting money taken out from the credit card company or the business. It's theirs, you know.
All right, fair enough. I can see that. I can see why. I can see your reasoning behind that.
And they also don't have to wait to get paid to get it.
What's that, Anthony?
They don't have to wait to their paycheck to get the money.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, luckily I had enough. Which is not like I used to always have at least 100 on me. But not anymore.
I used to always have cash on me, and I was like, because like I go stop at a gas station and get a cup of coffee, and I'm like, oh here, let me use my card
Yeah.
for the $2 cup of coffee.
Yeah. But
Well,
that's I don't go to work anymore, so I don't leave the house. That's part of it, I think. Yeah. But
like I said, uh, the minor, small, grievances, nothing major. I haven't had I mean, I shouldn't say this. I should knock on some wood here. I haven't had a really annoying customer service interaction in a while. So yeah, I mean, I assume I will at some point, and then I'll share my. But I mean, I seem to be running pretty good right now. You know, as far as um staying clear right now. So either things are getting better, or I'm not being annoyed as much, or just the karma is finally swinging my way for a little while, which would be
You just
nice.
jinxed it.
Yeah, you know, that's why I have a wood desk, real wood, not gonna, because that will fix it.
Yes.
So I was weirdly wondering about like thinking about like I used to have like, I mean, I still have all my paints and stuff like that, and I still have a lot of Reaper Bones miniatures and things like that. And but I always have this idea that like if I could just get like I always had this idea like, oh, if I run a D&D campaign, then I will, and I really want to like get a bunch of these types of miniatures. Like I'll go and I'll dig online for like all of these like um cool looking miniatures that like would match like what I want to do with like a D&D campaign. And then I always think, oh well, you know, it's like I can get these and I can paint them and I can get, and I always then have to stop myself and say, look, it's like you're never gonna paint. You're never gonna find time. You know, every single time you're gonna think, okay, I'm gonna set up all my stuff, and I'm gonna paint, and I'm gonna paint these guys, and it's gonna be awesome. It'll just not happen. And then so I've talked myself out of like spending a moderate amount of money on miniatures about 8 times. And I know eventually I've got to find something else to like think about because I've been watching Shogun, which is amazing. And so I've had all these ideas of what if I did a like feudal Japan. I talked about this last time, a feudal Japan D&D uh type thing. You know, like I could what if I did that? And um if I could, you know, pull that off, whatever, you know, to uh make it you know, and like okay, how would I do that? But I would need like some samurais and I would need some ninjas and I would need some like true like Tibetan monk type minis. I'm like, what am I thinking? I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna have to. You know, I'm never gonna paint them. I'm never gonna. In that case, they'll just be like gray, you know, and you know, so. But
So when you play D&D now, you use minis?
so it depends, right? Um, it like for the most part, no. So that's the other thing too. I'm slowly convincing myself that like, oh, but if I did some really cool stuff or whatever, you know, like then I can I'd be able to, you know, put things, you know, if I did some like neat looking like terrain and things like that, then like everybody would be more engaged and playing on it. But I mean, we don't really play. See, what I want to do, now I'm getting all over the place. What I would love to do, and I'm sure my players would hate it. And I'm sure eventually I'd get bored of it and hate it too. But like go back to the old uh rules of D&D and AD&D when like you because it was basically a modified war game when you would use a tape measure to determine how far your characters could move and things like that. So you'd say, okay, well, you know, my guy moves 6 inches, and you take tape measure out and you just go and like, and then you move your miniature on the thing. But that really only works well for outdoor stuff, right? It doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, yeah, you can have a big giant dungeon room and it can move, but I mean, for the most part, it's like, oh yeah, we're fighting in a 10 by 10 room. Well, who cares then? You know, I mean, you're everybody can move to the other side of the room easy. It's not that big of a deal. I don't know. like I have that idea that like because we never really play with those rules, but then again, why even worry about those rules? Because usually the distance doesn't matter at all. I mean, I mean, I can remember how many times playing as a kid, and we'd say, "Oh, can I get to the mage from where I'm at?" And you'd say, yeah, you can get there." You know, just like, or you'd be like, no, no, you can't. Next round you will be though. You know, if you want to spend this turn running towards her, next round you'll get there. That kind of stuff. So I don't know. It's like one of those things like, oh, if I could do that, wouldn't that be cool? But it's also like, yeah, who cares? I still would probably have fun without having to worry about it kind of thing. So I don't know. Cynthia Williams gonna resign as the person in charge of WotC or whatever.
Yes, I heard.
That's
What's that mean?
just so
Here's the new boss, same as the old.
yeah, I think that so like the big thing is that like the whole idea is that Cynthia Williams came into the situation saying that they wanted to make they wanted the D&D is under monetized, so how are we going to monetize it more kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so the OGL thing was a huge misstep. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff that like, and sales have. I mean, the money they're bringing in has repeatedly just gotten less consistently every quarter. So it's just one of those things where it's like, hey, thanks for not making us more money. See you later. You know,
Yeah.
and I'm sure it's like you can resign or you can be fired. Your choice. And then, you know, so she'll resign. Probably have a really nice severance package. You know, when she leaves. Um, and you know, for decisions that probably had nothing uh to do. Um, you know, she probably had like little or nothing to do with the reasons why they're not making more money. Um, and they'll just bring somebody else in that's gonna be like, I mean, it's easy to guess. My guess is they'll bring somebody else in that will there'll be somebody internal, so they don't because bringing somebody in from the outside always costs more money.
Yeah.
They'll promote somebody internally. That somebody will be a person that will be all about uh stripping the company of expenditures and then focusing on the stuff they know that makes them money. And so when it comes to D&D, it will be that we need to produce a hardcover book once every 2 to 3 months because everybody will buy these books. When we'll pump out these books and then we'll sell them. We'll pump out that book and we'll sell them. And then until they get to the fact that when the next D&D or one D&D or whatever the hell it's going to be called comes out, in which case then they'll make a bunch of money then. And then this person will be perfectly positioned to be in a spot where they're going to make money again because there's a brand new system, brand new rules books and whatever. And they will be heralded as like, oh, the agent of, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't know, man. I used to say that like that it doesn't matter what they do, they're always going to make money. But maybe they finally are screwing up enough where um, Hasbro will think of cutting, you know, WotC and D&D from the stuff that they make. But I mean, Wizards makes Magic, and Magic theoretically can always make money, right?
Mm.
I mean, judging from the number of people that are constantly buying those cards, from what I see, I mean, I might not be totally on the up and up here, but I mean, I don't know, Anthony, you sometimes know more about this stuff than I do.
Is it?
You know, like no, I mean like Magic still makes money, right? It's still a constant earner. I can't imagine cutting a company that cutting a product line that like that is just, makes it so you can just print money.
Oh yeah. Like they need to come. They need to. So my understanding when they brought her in was to get her to generate, again, not magic money, but to bring it up to like the popularity. And her approach was to put it in more places and make money off of it, even if they don't make it themselves.
Yeah. I don't know. It's the thing about D&D is that like the way that like the reason why they can sell all these books and everything like that is because they're constantly introducing either new classes or new kits or new whatever ancestries or feats or
Oh,
whatever
yeah.
that basically allow you a brand new way for you to make a warlock or whatever, and then it's up to players to go through all that stuff. And it's like, if I combine this with this and this with this and this with this, then my guy is just amazing. And I've gone on a rant about this before here too, but
Mm.
the thing about it is that they they do that, and there's no way they can actually play test it to make sure that they haven't created the ability to make some sort of superhuman character. But that's what, as long as people enjoy playing that high level power game of D&D, people are always going to buy those books because they want that new thing, right? They want that, 20 new playable races, that are somehow different from the other 20 playable races that we already have. And they want to.
And yet I play human almost every single time I play.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
But I mean, they just need to be able to, make a book that costs them, probably $3.50 to manufacture and sell for $50. And uh, that's fine. I mean, I don't even play that anymore. I mean, I play my own D&D, and we like it. Damn it. So
Yeah. Mhm. Well, was there a lot? I don't really pay attention to the role playing. Was there a lot of? Did she pump out a lot of stuff at once, or was it just a bad marketing strategy?
It was the fact that they brought someone in who is a marketing person,
Yeah.
but not a D&D person.
Okay. They misread the market, or she didn't know the
It's
market.
like so unlike most kids, their first job is like, bagging groceries or working at McDonald's. Uh, when I got my working papers, I went to work for Xerox in the summer. My father worked there. And I was there for 4 or 5 summers in a row. I worked there. But my second summer that I was there, they hired another manager. And this young woman, fresh out of business school, you know,
Yeah.
she was business, business, business. And a lot of the guys who worked there, like the guy who was in, like the head guy and where I worked, he started working there with my father. Like they used to unload trucks and
Mm.
basically work their way up
Right.
through the company. So, but like, yeah, they didn't go to any business school. My father never graduated high school at the time,
Yeah.
and when he started, and Joe, who was in charge, was like my dad. Um, so I worked in the repro center. So before, you know, every company had their own copy machines. If you had stuff that you printed like for, you know, meetings and whatever, you you'd bring it down to us and we'd print it for you, catalogs and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So she's there for a couple of weeks. I'm there for a couple of weeks in that summer. I worked the whole summer before, and she was she was helping out, taking orders from customers, and I went and picked up the job that had that was in my bin to do, and I looked at it, and I saw that she had had done it, and I went to her and I said, Anita, there's a problem with this order. She's like, what is it? I said, this can't be done in time.
Ah,
And she's like, what do you mean? I said, you promised this for 4:30 pickup today. I said, it can be done, but that means that someone else's job is not getting done.
Right.
And she's like, don't tell me this. Just go do what you're supposed to do. She got an attitude.
She's over her head. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I basically said, if you promise it for 4:30, then here you go. You can go and do it. I'm 16 years old at the time.
Ugh.
So she flips out. She goes running into Joe's office. She closes the door. I hear her like yelling at Joe. And all of a sudden I hear, boop. Anthony, can you come to my office for a minute? I go, and the other guys who were there saw it. And they were like, oh, God, you kicked this kid. I walked in. And he goes, what's going on? He goes, did you tell her to run the job? And I said, yes, I did. And he goes, and why did you do that? I said, because I told her it couldn't be done in the time it was promised. And she's like, oh, it can be. So I said, she said, it can be. So I said, if you think you can do it, then go ahead. So he looked at the paper and he goes, Anthony, why can't this job be done on time? I said, because the machine only makes this many copies per minute. The sorter only sorts this many. Each book is this size, which doesn't fit in the machine, which means you can't use the stapler function in the machine. I said, you have to keep loading paper, you have to change ink, you have to pull the stuff out, and you have to take it over to the binding section to use the stapler over there to put everything together the way they want it done. I said, at best, it'd be done by 5:30. And he looks at her and he goes, do you think he's right? She's like, no, when the machine makes this many copies in a minute and this minute, and I said, yes, but you've forgotten the fact that the machine only holds this many copies at a time, this many sorted sets at a time.
Mm.
Someone has to take them out and then join the two halves of the book together after. You didn't count for any of that time. You know that a machine makes this many copies in this amount of time, and you said, oh, they need this many books with this many pages. It's this many copies. It'll take this amount of time, and you added 25 minutes on it.
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
and Joe goes to me, goes, Anthony, go run the job and take the other machine that's next to it and run it on that one too. I said, okay, no problem. So I went and I ran it. And she closed the door and she started screaming at him again. Like who the hell I was that, and then he comes out of his office, she huffs away, goes to her office, he comes over to me, he goes, you're 100% right. Just don't do that ever again. I don't want to hear it.
ah.
If you get something else like that again, just come to me and I will take care of it. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. He's like, no, it's okay. But like that's it. She knew numbers. She knew
Yeah.
numbers, she knew business and all that stuff, but she never actually did the job. So she had no clue what it actually took to do something. And that's what it seems to be with this woman. She's, where she came from, big results and all that other stuff, but it's a different kind of mark. That's why I always laugh. Like you see people who are looking for uh people in the industry, and you look at what they're looking for. 8 years of proven this and that. And I said, well, you know what? Someone can have 8 years of proven sales and whatnot, selling widgets,
Yeah.
but that selling widgets is not selling board games.
Yeah.
It's an entirely different thing you have to deal with. And here's the other thing. If if my job was to sell the game that is the Spiel des Jahres winner, it's really easy. If you want me to come in and have your crappy games, reach those numbers, it's not going to happen. And I'm like, and second of all, you're not paying enough for what you're asking for. But they're going to get someone who's going to come in, who's going to go in and say, "Oh yeah, this is the way you do it." Because in my marketing 101 class, this is what they said you
Yeah.
do. Like, that's not how things work.
Well, they don't know that. I went through that with engineers a lot at SEPTA. Right out of college, they just didn't understand the practical end of things. And they're cheap labor. That's why people go for them. That's the bottom line. But yeah, I guess the board game industry is kind of an oddball to
But it's
go shop
anything.
for help.
It's anything. If you and see, here's the thing: you can get someone who is like, "Oh yeah, they turned this company into a Fortune 500 company." Like, yeah, but they may not be able to do it for you.
Right.
And it's like, oh, you just keep poaching the same person from, and it's the same industry and it's the same everything, then maybe. But then again, it's going to cost you more than you're probably willing to pay for it.
Yeah. It's weird. But how long do you think D&D, like, it's not really a sustainable engine, it's you make a buck every so often. How
For D&D,
Yeah, I
no,
mean,
they make a lot of money.
yeah, I know, but I mean, how long can it go on for? It's
It's
yeah.
been going on for 50 years.
Yeah, I get that, but oh no, it's probably at the height it's ever been now.
But the thing is, so owning the rights to D&D, um, they own more than just so they so they own the rights to Dungeons and Dragons,
Right,
as opposed to owning the licensing for Dungeons and Dragons.
right. Okay.
So you go somewhere and you see a D&D t-shirt,
Yeah,
and
they got the money.
that
Yeah.
also.
Yeah, I get. All right.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
you have to keep people engaged. Okay, you have to keep people spending money. You have to give them a reason to want to keep spending money. And like I
Yeah,
said, Lance and I will attest to the fact that, and a good, I want to say a good 75% of D&D players will say the same thing, that you play the D&D that you like.
right.
If your favorite is third edition, you play third edition. If
Yeah.
your favorite is AD&D, you play that.
Yeah. Oh, that's just like growing up with the superheroes. If you're '89 Batman, that's your Batman, or
But
whatever.
there's things, well, like I'm saying, but you'll keep reading Batman, and people will keep reading D. They may not play it, but you just have to buy the book and read it.
Yeah.
And then you can take it and adapt it to the game you play. So things that used to be very common in Dungeons and Dragons don't exist anymore. So like the big books would come out, the big books came out, and then the campaigns, the modules,
And 24-page modules.
24 page
24
modules, and there were like 4 to 6 of them were the entire campaign.
Hmm.
But you could jump around. You didn't have to do them all. That's why I always laugh, because the box set came with the second chapter of
Yes.
campaign.
B2,
Yes,
because B1 was awful.
but that's the thing. So now instead of that, they have um they're they're not even campaign. They call it campaign books still, Lance.
Well, they are, but they're big
settings.
giant adventures. Like they're meant to like take like 5-6 sessions to complete. Which I mean, for your money, I mean that's a good deal, right? You spend $50 or less if you get them off Amazon or whatever. But you you get those things and if you get like 6 4-hour sessions out of it, I mean that's theoretically 5 people sitting at a table. You think so that's five, so that's 120 hours of enjoyment if total because each person's enjoying that time or whatever. I mean, for $50, that's a good deal. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to get that kind of return on your investment on anything else that's out there. But I mean, the thing about it is that you know is that they don't nobody ever plays them, right? I mean, like they know that like most of the people that buy those books, they might read them, they might go through them, but they just don't. I mean, for every Tyranny of Dragons or whatever, or Secret of Saltmarsh book that they put out that barely sold anything. Then they have a thing like Curse of Strahd, which of course like sold 8 million bajillion gajillion copies of. That so much so that they made a like deluxe version of the book. To pimp it out and show it off. It's just the problem is that and it's been the same thing, and even Gary and TSR knew this was that you go back all the way to the beginning. It's like they were making the little box sets, those little white box sets. They were making those and putting them together in their basement, and then they realized that they actually had something because they were inundated with orders, and so when they realized that, oh my gosh, we actually have something here that people really like, so then they started making like the Dungeons and Dragons basic sets. But one of the reasons why, well, two reasons. Why did Advanced D&D come out? Advanced D&D came out for two reasons. One, here were more books that people would want to buy. The second reason was Gary Gygax was a prick, and he thought if he called it Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, he wouldn't have to give Dave Arneson any money because it would be something that like it isn't Dungeons and Dragons, it's Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, so you don't get anything off of this one. And that was like a huge, obviously you can dig into that. Yeah, I mean, it's just like Glowing Turtle says, compared to the rest of the fantasy RPGs available, $50 is a lot of money, Lance. Maybe. But I mean, and Glowing Turtle, please, by all means, tell me what other game out there, what other popular RPG that is, and I'm not gonna like put you into a corner and like say, name me another one that's just as popular as D&D, because you can't. It's the one that is the most popular. But name me another one out there that is somewhat as popular that, and how much are those? I mean, maybe like if you tell me like one of the new, like,
Pathfinder is the same as D&D.
Pathfinder is the same as D&D.
No, it's not. It's a different name.
Call
Plus
of Cthulhu. I just bought the Arkham. I just bought the 7th edition Arkham source book and source book / adventure book for Call of Cthulhu for Arkham. That was $50. I mean, you could probably say maybe like some of the Morkborg stuff. They're like $25 or $30, but those are much smaller books too. They're not A4 size or whatever. They're like the smaller. They're like this book right here, Crown and Skull. They're like this size right here. Crown and Skull, designed by Runehammer. I mean, like, and I'm going to talk about this here in a little bit. I want to give like a little mini review of this. This book, admittedly, it's the deluxe edition. This was $80. I bought this because I like owning cool books. So I mean, it's just, and I don't know. I mean, it's just like, yeah. Nathaniel Robinson said, "What hamburger place beats McDonald's?" You know,
many.
well, no, I mean like as far as popularity, as far
No,
as like
popular. Yeah, no.
when people say hamburgers, people, you know, the first like fast food hamburgers, go. You know, uh, most people they're gonna say McDonald's, and they're, you know, maybe you'll get a few Burger Kings out there or whatever.
What was number three? Wendy's, or would it be one
Yeah,
of
I
them on
mean,
the
what?
West
Yeah,
Coast?
you got Hardee's or Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Depending on where you are. You got Wendy's. You got Burger King. I mean, and then you got like the ones that are kind of like, you know, In and Out or Sonic, you know, things like that. You know, I mean, it's just
Sonic sucks.
yeah, it does. That was like one of the. I mean, not to segue, but that was one of the biggest disappointments my wife and I had. We would
Me
like
too.
back when we watched all. I think you and I discussed this once, but back when like when we had normal TV and we'd see a Sonic commercial, be like, man, I really want a Sonic to come to town because all these things made it sound like it was so good. Get a chili dog and an ice cream and all this stuff. I was excited about it, and then we heard they're gonna put a Sonic in town, and I was like super excited. And I feel horrible about this. But I remember we went there and we were like, yeah, they just opened. First week they were opened, and then there was actually like you could pull up and they had people that would come out and bring you your order and stuff like that in the parking spots. So you could eat in your car and everything like that, or you could go inside. And there was even a few people that were like, we're gonna do it. We're gonna roller skate around, you know, like the classic old school ones where they come out. And I saw not one, not two, but three people
Great.
take the big dump. Thankfully, only two of them were actually carrying a tray full of food when they fell. Now they're like, yeah, we're not going to have anybody do the roller skating anymore.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't think of a lawsuit before that
Yeah,
even
so,
occurred.
but yeah, the food was horrible. But anyway,
Yeah, it is. Jen loves it, but it's horrible.
well, and like here's like, and Tony Bosco wants to say McDonald's has the best hamburgers and Taylor Swift is our lifetime's Mozart. Nobody's saying that, Tony. I mean, I realize it's hyperbole that you're saying here.
All right,
But
so Lance,
yes,
the regular edition of the Crown and Skull book is $50.
I know. But I mean, it's really good. This is a really cool idea. I mean, it is. So the problem with a lot of our, this is my mini review of this. And once it's in stock again, I would suggest that if you want a really good read as far as a book goes, I would strongly suggest checking this out. It has some pretty cool, innovative ideas that I really, really like. It has it is like there are like full length like stories, like little short stories they're in this book while you're reading them as well. Explanations of how the characters work. If you go to the Runehammer, the Crown and Skull website, you could he actually has a character creation thing that you can just do. You can make a character, print off the character sheet. Like it takes literally seconds to do. All kinds of things that are like super cool or whatever. The artwork in it is fantastic and very old school and cool looking. One of the things about it is a player facing system, meaning that the DM rolls very little, very few. The dungeon master could probably get through an entire session without ever rolling a die. There is like most of the things will happen is that the players have both an attack roll and a defense roll. So it's like when they attack, you know, they'll process their attack, and then when the thing fights them, it's like they're attacking you at -3, and so then they, you know, like basically, you know, it's like that's weak attack, so they reduce their defense roll by that much, and then have to roll over that with a 20. You know, or they're attacking you with a +5, that's really good, you know, because like if your defense roll is a 12, now I got to roll a 17, 18, 19, or 20 to avoid being hit. The players are in charge of all the dice rolls when it comes to combat. The DM only moderates it. Now, you could easily transport that over, and I have done it, but it's like players don't like it. At least my players don't. They don't enjoy rolling their own attacks on themselves. They want to have the DM do it. That's just my group. It has a really, really good um there's no initiative. Instead, there are I think it's 6 phases of combat. Maybe it was 5, but there's 6 phases of combat, and the players just get to pick which phase they want to go in. Do they want to go early so they can get in an attack or get something done early? Or do they want to go late and react to what's happened? You can't ever change, but then you can't ever change. So, like, there's all kinds of times when people will roll initiative and they're like, well, I'm going to hold my action until later. Well, you don't get the option to hold your action until later. If you say you want to go right away, and then something else happens afterwards, you can't react to it till the next round, which I kind of like. It allows it allows the players to discuss what phase they want to go in, and they do it. And then there's a really cool thing where there's like basically you have a strip where you have each person will have a pawn, and they'll just put their pawn in which phase they want to go in, and then the things you fight, they have scripted in them is what phase they go in. Sometimes you will roll a 6-sided die as the person, as the dungeon master, to see when they will go this particular phase. But but then you reveal it when it happens, kind of thing. So it's like, okay, yeah, the dragon's going in phase 3. Some monsters, like that dragon, get to go in multiple phases. The dragon's going on 2, 3, and 6 this round, and so like that, those kinds of things, pretty cool. One of the things that's huge that people like that is a complete and total breakaway, which I'm gonna segue a little bit into the old, like, into a Shadowrun a conversation here. And that's another thing too, like the old Shadowrun, Earth Dawn, those books, those are all 40-50 bucks back in the day too. So I don't know I mean, I don't know. I mean, Glowing Turtle, I will say that, not most games cost 50 bucks, but it most of the games are going to cost you between, unless it's like one of these, like, hey, it's the simple rules set or whatever. Look at like the Easy D6. I mean, like, if you want to go to, like, that's supposedly like the simple rule set, but that still costs you 40 bucks for the book. I mean,
Be right back.
yeah, that's
Can't
fine.
wait.
So anyway, Crown and Skull. Your characters don't have hit points. They they have they have up to uh 10 abilities and up to 10 pieces of inventory. And when you get hurt, you lose access to an item of inventory because it has been damaged, or in some cases, the attack is super powerful, it is destroyed. Or if you choose an ability, and sometimes you don't get to choose, that ability just can't be used until you're able to rest up and heal. So if you have certain abilities that, like, I can cast this spell, or I can climb walls or things like that, like, now you can't, because it is like a battle of attrition. That like, as you take damage and as you get into combats, you lose access to certain powers or abilities or things that are that help you succeed. One of the things about that, though, is that I always kind of, in Shadowrun, and then I haven't played the newest Shadowrun ability in a while, but in Shadowrun, the okay, first of all, Glowing Turtle, yes, basic fantasy, $8. But that is the I mean, I could say D&D $0. You know, just grab it because everybody knows everybody's got a set of dice. You don't need any rules whatsoever, none. So I mean, I don't. But anyway, uh, and I mean, and you cherry pick one system out there, basic fantasy, for $8, and you're like, see, this one exists, yeah. But I mean, go to any other OSR clone, whether it's Swords and Wizardry, if you buy Osric off of Lulu, if you go and if you get Labyrinth Lord or Dragon Slayer or Old School Essentials, all of those books cost between 40 to $60, depending upon. Anyway, Shadowrun, back in the day, you got shot. After you took your armor that you're wearing into effect, depending upon how much damage resistance you would do or whatever, the damage from the attack, you would be like, oh, you took a 7 moderate or whatever. You'd take damage. And then you would have a body characteristic that you would roll a bunch of 6-sided dice. And for every success you got with your body characteristic, you would reduce the damage that you took. And like and incrementally it would go down. And so like if you could somehow just take a light wound or even no wounds at all, you'd be better off than taking a huge deadly wound or whatever. But the thing is the more damage you took, the tougher it was for you to resist further injury. Meaning that as you got hurt, it was this slippery slide down to the bottom. And while realistic, because like as you're getting hurt more and more, it gets tougher and tougher to resist that damage. It was just kind of a depressing cycle for the players to have to play, and it just was tough. So that's one of those things where I like the idea that the characters don't have hit points. I mean, basically, once you're out of equipment and you're out of abilities and you take more damage, then you die. That's how Crown and Skull works. I like that, but also it's one of those things too where it's like I like the fact that the players get to kind of pick and choose what they damage or what they remove, so they can kind of make good like tactical choices. Like I still need to escape from this ancient tomb. I need this ability, that kind of thing. I also don't like I mean, as an abstract number, hit points just works, right? Now I applaud Brandon, the guy who designed this. I applaud him for doing something that isn't just normal. He could absolutely have just said, hey, I'm going to make another D&D clone, but I'm just going to kind of change a few things, maybe add one stat, maybe play with some different races or ancestries or heritages or whatever you want to call them. He could have done that easily and pumped this out, and he did something actually new and different. And like I said, the book is really, really fantastic. One, it looks cool. Two, he didn't crowdfund it. He just published it. He was like, I'm gonna use my own money and I'm gonna make this book. And he sold out. So when they're back in stock, I strongly suggest like checking it out. If you're just somebody who likes reading an RPG book, it is well worth the money. I don't feel bad about the $80 I spent on this at all. So
He sells some tie on the tank. He's covered.
yeah, there you go. Glowing Turtle, you never heard of Holmes D&D? Man.
Shame.
Yeah. Yeah,
So going back to D&D, what is this new? Is this new model trying to get new players or the collectors of the old? What is the model here? Apparently, it's not the collectors old because the old fucks don't give a fuck about the new shit.
I mean, the thing is that it's kind of like, I mean, this is a horrible comparison, but it's like the age-old thing where it's like, the tobacco companies say that, well, we're not looking for new, we're just trying to market our products to people that are already using tobacco, right? Which is bullshit. If they don't, because your customers die and you need more customers, so you're still going to market it and you're still going to so with D&D, it's like you can't just keep changing it and hope eventually the people that are playing your game, they'll move on, play something different, they'll be interested in something else. You're going to need to find new people. And so, well, how do you get new people, right? I mean, it's one of those things where, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you have to show them something cool. Like you would think that with the Uh, you would think with the movie and stuff like that brought new people in or whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
This
I
is why I
don't.
don't see how it's sustainable. I mean, I know it's 50 years old, but I just don't see how, eventually the bubble's going to burst on this.
Because the thing isn't what happens.
Stop
What now?
muting yourself. Maybe we can hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Sorry. The,
It's
the problem is that they change it to meet a new audience. But the problem is then the quote unquote purists all complain about it.
Oh yeah, you got to adapt. That's the only way they're going to sustain. But it's like I'm curious if it's like with the superhero stuff going on now. There's so much of it that it's just the pie is just not that big. It's not big enough anymore to sustain everybody.
Hmm.
Well, the superhero stuff would still do well if they stop changing it.
Again, with mass production, you got to dilute it. It's quantity or quality,
No, it's
one or
not
the
about
other.
diluting it. It's about changing. It's about making it. Let's take the 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 um eighth Star Wars movie and how much people hated it, but there are a vast number of people that think it's amazing because it was made for them and it wasn't
What?
made for everybody else.
Eighth Star Wars movie. Hmm. I'm only aware of three.
That's happening. I mean, we'll take Batman when they changed him from crime fighter to at one point wasn't he on drugs or one of the Robins or something? Or am I mixing them up? But I mean, they changed it to suit the times that they're going with. I mean, I'm sure the older guys didn't like when he went from investigating crimes to whatever, the tech and all that.
Yes, but again, you are okay. So, uh, like the tobacco thing, trying to get new people, getting to the young people. Okay, it's not something that you can go, oh, young people like this, so let's put this in it. Because the other thing is, though, young people don't do things that we did when we were young and started playing D&D.
Yeah.
If if it's not on a screen, you're not going to get a lot of people. And that's the whole thing is you get people who come in who understand. Oh, I know what the youth of America like. Let's put that in there, but it doesn't work because you're just putting it in there to satisfy that demographic, but that demographic is not interested in your product as a whole.
Yeah. I think that's just the times we're in right now. It's not only D&D doing that; it's a bunch of people. They're just misreading the audience.
So let's look at something that different thing. So like model trains,
They're
okay?
still around.
Yes, and they're very expensive.
Yes, I know that. I know that for a fact.
Because only a few companies make trains for kids anymore.
Mhm.
Like when we were growing up, you get the Sears catalog, there were like 10 different train sets you can order from it because it was a toy. But now these companies, they make like a single engine that you pay $500 for. Why? Because yes, they'd like to get new people, young people into it. So when the people who are, the old codgers who are the big train fanatics, you know, die off, but what they're relying on is they're relying on those people to get their grandkids into it or someone to go, hey, you know what? My dad had trains, and it was a lot of fun. I remember it being fun. I'm gonna get it, you know. But the thing is, you go after people who have disposable income.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. So market the stuff to the people who have been playing for years, and come out with stuff that people who have been playing, you know, since they were teenagers, or play when they were teenagers and are playing it again now as when they're older, who have disposable income, throw in stuff like that. That's why things like what's the company, Lance, that makes the really nice like superhero statues?
Oh, oh, what the hell? I know what you're talking about.
I have
But
no idea.
they make those for us. They don't make those for kids.
Yeah.
They make it for us because when we were young, you know, we really liked Shazam. We like watching it, and we love Shazam. We read Shazam comic books, and now we need a $500
Yeah.
Shazam statue to put up on our shelf.
Yeah, McFarlane used to, but it wasn't his company. It was somebody else.
McFarlane stuff is like way cheap compared to some of the stuff out there.
Yeah. But it was like that scale and all that. It wasn't.
But they're like this big, and like they're fully
Yeah.
detailed, and like they're really nice.
Can't remember the name of the
But
company
they're
now.
but they're not made. They're not made for kids
The
who
average. Yeah.
went to see the Shazam movie.
Yeah. See, I'm not used to that mentality. This is still, I grew up where you got what you needed. You know, it didn't extend yourself too much. I'm still like that to this day. But yeah, I didn't take that into consideration, that mentality.
And that's the
Or,
thing. You have to go for those. You have to go for that demographic.
yeah,
And that's why things like Call of Cthulhu, it's a different kind of thing. But they aren't looking to make D&D money. So they
yeah,
do very well because they don't have an unreal expectation for what it is
all right.
they're selling or making.
See, capitalism, Lance, it's destroying D&D. I'm sure it'll survive. I mean, did the movie do well? I don't really do movies at all do well. I mean,
I think it did all right. I mean,
yeah,
like
because if it did,
I was in Ollie's the other day, and they had a whole shelf filled with action figures that they made over the past year or so of the D&D cartoon characters.
there's a cartoon.
So I was like, okay, who is buying those? Us guys in our 40s and 50s who
Yeah,
watched the cartoon when we were kids.
yeah,
Well, my
nostalgia.
kids had no idea that cartoon even existed.
Yeah, I'm sure. I see that a lot with Disney. They'll dump a bunch of their stuff in the stores like that, always and all that, because it's the same thing. They're
Oh, the
trying to get
Disney
caught up.
stuff. So what if you go to Ollie's or any of those places that have like the discount stuff? It's funny. You'll see like Star Wars figures,
Yeah,
and most of them are the female characters
really, I never made that connection. Then again, I wasn't, really
because
looking.
everyone wants to have a Han Solo and a Boba Fett.
Yeah,
Not everyone wants a Padme.
that's true. Yeah.
And that's the way it is with a lot of those things. Like you'll go, like sometimes I'll go and I see the like the action figures. I'm like, okay, let me look. And I look at the back of the box that shows you like all of the characters in the series. So let's see how many of them they actually have. And once in a while, it's just something they made a whole ton of, and they have everybody.
Hmm.
And then a lot of times they have like 3 of the characters, and they have hundreds and hundreds of them.
I'm going to show you.
Uh-oh.
I was hoping Aldi would be here because he'd actually probably.
I don't think he's going. He's
He's
with his
gathering right
girlfriends.
now.
I know he's gathering. I wonder what games he's playing right now.
I'm sure he'll tell you when he gets back.
Nothing but the best, right?
They're all going to be great. That's what I love about Scott.
Well, I mean, I give him credit. He still likes stuff. So I mean,
Yes.
I mean,
And Scott has not steered me wrong with a game yet.
So I'll give him. I mean, I don't always uh I don't always enjoy games that I play. I played a brand new game that we're playtesting right now that is, I don't know, it's like Anthony, you'd
Fantastic.
like it. It is it
After
is it is
4
a super
months, I
thinky,
can't wait till
super
this
heavy
fucking
game. I
game's
can't really
done.
say much about it. I mean, it is they got like 311 unique cards, and it's got a very it's very, very in depth, and I mean, like I said, I can't really say much about it other than the fact that it's got a lot of weight to it. It's got a lot of moving parts, and you know, you know, building a tableau and multi-use cards depending on how much you use them for, things like that. So, um, pretty fun stuff. But I don't know. It's one of those things too where it's like when I see games like that, I'm like, you're like, oh well, this is freaking awesome. But then you also have to you have to go into the whole do will it transfer? I mean, I might think it's awesome, but what I like think is awesome is means nothing compared to you know uh I have no idea anymore what everybody thinks is cool and awesome anymore. So
I do. Pretty plastic. No game, just pretty plastic. Campaign.
just pretty plastic. That's it. That's not true.
Campaign of pretty plastic. That's it. Doesn't even have to be a game. It could be shooting a ladder. Pretty plastic.
I think that in a lot of ways it's like uh usually sometimes it's the case, but you still need to have a game.
Do
You
you?
can't just spit something out and hope people will like it or whatever. Um
Do you? Most of the time. Do you? And you
um
for viewers gonna play it once to give it a thumbs up. That's all. You know.
you're so negative.
So grouchy.
On some of this, yes, I am.
Man, when you get old, you're gonna be horrible.
Nah, I got pretty positive outlook most of the time.
So on Monday night, my wife and I are going to a mystery movie at our local movie theater. Now that is not a
You don't know what
mystery.
movie you're gonna see?
It's literally it's a movie that is coming out in the next few weeks, is what they said, and you don't know what it is. You pay for your ticket, you go and you sit down, and then they
Sucker.
start the movie up. You have no
You're
idea.
going to get the latest B film out there.
It's the only thing we know. It's R rated and it is not a horror movie.
It's gonna be some kind of true crime or something. One of them thriller movies.
Maybe it's Breaking 3.
I don't know, but I told my wife, I said, what do you of these 4 options? What do you think is most likely? I said it'll be a movie I like that you won't like. It'll be a movie that you like that I don't like. It'll be a movie we both like, or it'll be a movie we both don't like. And she said it'll be a movie we both don't like. It's just like, yeah, that's possible. But it's only $5 a ticket. So
Oh, it's a C review then. I'm sorry, not a B. It's one that should have went right to the DVD, but didn't. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the best movie you ever saw, Lance.
So speaking of movies and stuff, have you ever like gone on like whether it's Netflix or Max or whatever streaming service you prefer,
Hmm.
and you see a movie that has like a really like good cast, like high end people, and you're
Hmm.
like, I've never heard of this movie before in my life.
A couple, yeah.
I have a whole list of them
The-
on my things. Like I click the thing like to save, and I'm like, what? How did this movie come out? And I've never even heard of it.
Are they more recent, like
No, they're
2000?
recent movies.
Oh, all right.
They were like, I guess they were like made like during the pandemic, like before the pandemic, and they never released them. And then they finally like, you know
Oh,
what? The hell with it, we'll just put them on streaming. We're never gonna
yeah.
bother releasing them in the theater.
Hmm.
Okay, 4, yeah, we're only 4 years out, 3 years out. Yeah.
Um, where is like an Evan? So we because tonight Initials is actually being hosted by Anthony.
It
I think we'll
is.
have to, I think we will have to do a thing where if you win, you have to be in charge of the Initials for the next week, kind of thing.
So I'm good. I'm never winning.
Yeah.
It'll be
Um.
Anthony, then Anthony, and then
Well, no.
Anthony.
See, if but Anthony's going to host it, he's giving the clues,
Yeah,
so
but
somebody
he's
else
gonna
has to
lose.
win.
I'm gonna win my own game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not going to.
Uh, yeah, they didn't go to the gathering, right? Evan? I don't think he did. I doubt Forrest did.
Yeah. So we're just waiting patiently for somebody
Wait,
else to show up
wait,
so we can do
where's
Initials.
Luca? Or Lucas?
Well, I don't know where Luca is. Usually he's in
Yeah.
the thing. I mean, here. Oh, maybe I can bother him. What a
I left
weirdo.
a comment on something. I forget what it was.
Well, remember he couldn't figure out that how to work the joining the Facebook group last time. So
They're Canadian. They're a little behind us, Lance. Give them a break.
uh,
Yeah.
so these are cool books. I waited forever for them to come back into stock. They're called Vermis. This is Vermis 1. This is Vermis 2. And the premise of them is these are the guidebooks on how to beat a video game that doesn't exist.
All
So the
right.
premise is that each of these books has like these old school creepy like things that you would encounter in like the video game, and like it then describes it to you without actually there being no video game that exists. Like here's like that page was the room without shadows. You realize now, despite the intense lighting, you don't cast a shadow. As the chanting gets louder, you feel more and more debilitated, as if every word put more weight on your shoulders, crushing you underneath it. And then it goes on and lists the curse that exists in that room. And the idea is that this is just kind of a world building book, and it has an idea. They even have like things with like this would be like the map of the dungeon within the game kind of thing. And the idea is that it's supposed to spur you to have like ideas of how to implement certain things in like a D&D game, or just to read it for fun. But I mean, cool art, like stuff like that. It just feels very old school and grimdark and very cool. Um, if you ever get if you I think the publisher is called Hollow Press. If you just Google Vermis books to where you can buy them, um, absolutely. If you want to read some creepy stuff, and if you're looking for creepy stuff to add to a D&D campaign, strongly suggest uh, checking out the Vermis books. They are very reasonably priced as far as books that are going to give you all of the like the kind of like the ideas that you're looking for, and also like um if you I mean like I think I got both of these. It was around $40 total to have them shipped from like the publisher is based in the UK. So, but I got them in like 7 to 8 days or whatever after I bought them, and yeah, like check out that like creepy eye creature thing guy trying to fight it, stuff like that. I don't know, super cool. If you run if you ever create D&D stuff, or you want like ideas for dungeons or monsters or gods or whatever, uh well worth it. The only thing that I'd be annoyed that annoys me is that, and they probably did it on purpose, is like, notice Vermis 1 is a book that looks like this. Vermis 2 is, they're not the same. They like purposely made the second book differently shaped than the first book. So instead of like having both of these on your shelf, and like they're like actually like different. So that's annoying. But I'm sure they did that on purpose as some sort of artistic choice to change that up.
Just to piss you off, man.
No, I mean, I'm not the only one who's mentioned that. And right now, of course, I bought them, have them delivered to me, and now they have like special hardcover editions of the book for sale on it, which I wasn't able to get because obviously,
Obvious.
You need.
Well, I don't think I'll get the hardcover because I got these and there's nothing new in them or whatever. But yeah, so. Anything else? Anybody got anything that anybody? Well, let's do this. Anybody played any games recently?
Nope.
No.
So I remember I played Deep Sea Adventure. I know because I just did a video on it. That was earlier this week. I still haven't got my hands back completely, so I haven't really messed with too much.
Deep Sea Adventures. Now, that's the one where like you could just screw everybody over by taking all the oxygen and nobody wins, right?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Little linking.
No, if anybody knows the answer to this, it'd be Anthony. Didn't Deep Sea Adventures like it had a release from Oink
Japan.
from
Yeah.
and then but it was released by on a different name by somebody else, I thought.
I don't think that. I think you're thinking of Nana. That was released.
What am I thinking of?
Nana. That was released with a couple different names. Could be
I
wrong
don't
about that.
know. I think there was another one that I'm almost positive it was released under a different name as well.
Could be.
Like by like a Euro publisher type of thing. I don't know.
It could be. Rights thing,
Deep Sea is probably their best game. Oink. Fake Artist Goes to New York is very good.
Yeah.
The only problem with the thing that is okay, so if you don't know what a fake artist is, have you played Fake Artist? Anthony?
I played it with you
That's right.
live.
Must be memorable
everybody.
then.
Yeah. Okay. So, fake artist is um it basically there's a idea of something you're supposed to draw, and then each person, it works best if you have a whiteboard or like a large piece of canvas, something like that. And then each person can draw one line. The line can be as long as they want or whatever, but it's basically it's one line, and everybody should use a different color so you know who drew what.
And by one line, it's the pen goes on the paper, and you can just keep drawing until you pick the pen up.
Yeah,
It could be a
exactly.
straight line. It could be a circle. It could be a zigzag.
Yeah. So you and then the next person goes, and the next person goes, and the next person goes, and so on and so forth. And the curator of the museum knows that one person is the fake artist, but they want them to be like attributed as part of like the contribution to the thing. And so they're in cahoots with the fake artist. And all the other artists want to make sure that the fake artist doesn't get credit for helping make the creation. So you hand everybody a piece of paper that says exactly what you're supposed to be drawing, which says a sunset. Except the fake artist gets a piece of paper that says you're the fake artist. And so when it gets to the start, like you don't want to, as the real artists, give it away, because if you get up there and you draw a line and then a sun and things like that, it's like, oh well, you're not gonna be able. So you want to draw something, but you don't want to draw nothing. But you also don't want to draw so little it makes it look like you don't know what you're doing. It's a fun game. Doesn't take very long at all. Lots of hilarity. People start making jokes or whatever. But
It's another one.
one of the
Scat.
problems with the game is that like you can't ever have the fake artist be the first one to draw a line. Like the fake, so when you're the curator of the museum, like, or the art exposition, like if you give like say sunset to like, and the first person is the fake artist, if they draw like a weird squiggle, everybody's gonna be like, what are you doing? Like, and they're gonna know. So you can't really, with any dependency, give the first person the fake artist. So you can kind of game the game that way and screw things up.
Like a game over, maybe.
So unless like the other person goes up and just draws just a little line, right? Then somebody, then they could incorporate that. But other than that, it's it's fun. Like I like Insider by them. Insider's a good game.
I haven't played that one.
That's enjoyable by them. I mean, their games are inherently oh, there's a lot of secret deduction, secret trader type stuff, because Oink, the whole idea is it's that little tiny box and you have the game.
They're filler
like
games,
Deep Sea can be, because Deep Sea only needs the one track and the cards. So yeah. And Deep Sea loses too a lot because, like I said, it's just like, oh, it's Deep Sea Ventures. And it's just like, okay, well, I'm going to lose. So I'm going to just eat up all the oxygen. Everybody dies. It's just like, so what was the point? I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on the group that you're playing with.
Maybe.
But it's only a filler game. I mean, you're gonna spend what, half hour on them?
Well, Deep Sea Adventure, that's like a 15, maybe 20-minute game.
Yeah, yeah, depending on the player count and the group you're playing. I played a long one with that just because everybody was AP prone, but I don't understand how. You got, you move, you don't, pick up, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. Anyway. So no, you haven't played any games. Nobody plays any games. Nobody plays anything anymore. Everything's horrible. Nobody's happy.
I've been busy.
I said we weren't happy. Just you. You're the miserable one.
I'm just not happy.
Eh, life.
Um,
I didn't like doing things twice this week, but that happens. I sealed my driveway. I sprayed my the weed stuff, fertilized the lawn. Then we got a freak hailstorm with a bunch of rain that afternoon. So I had to touch up the driveway, redo the chemicals. Yeah, nice and fun.
so Anthony, I mean, because the only reason I ask is because you of all people would um no, but do you follow the geek list marketplace type of the like when people like I'm selling all these games, you know, and it says this is how much I'm selling them for, and then they auction them off kind of thing or whatever. Minimum bid is this, and then
I haven't in a while, but
yeah,
what you're talking about.
okay. Um, I saw somebody posted one 3 days ago, and it was all 18xx games. And like a lot of them are the old Winsome, Clamshell, you know, those games that like, you know, he made 500 copies of them maybe. And a lot of them, and he knows what they're worth because they're not, you know, they're not, you know, they're you know, they made so few of them. So they're like $100 or $80 or $125. Yeah, he hasn't gotten a single bid. like literally nobody. And these are like rare games. These are, I mean, no, but it just tells me it teaches me nobody plays trading games anymore. Or if they do, they already just own them because they don't have any reason to like
Yeah,
buy them or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just
it's a niche market.
yes it is.
it's extremely niche. And then and there was somebody recently they posted one. It was like literally, it was like 100 and some games, and they're like, "I will ship to all 50 states," you know, and just like, good Lord, that's I can't even imagine. Um, and I rarely check them out because they're just I mean, like I will go through to see if there's a Grail game or something that I'm looking for, you know, that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I rarely check them out anymore.
I'm hardly ever
I used to
on
do a
there anymore.
sale every once in a while. I used to do one on a fairly regular basis. Just to like get rid of games and make a little bit of money. Usually right before I went to a convention. So I had some money for a convention. But man, and I'm looking at these and like almost none of them have bids. Like most of these people they post these things and they don't get any bids. And these are like good games. These are like, you know, I mean, here, I'll share my screen. Like here's this guy that has his 7 million games or whatever. All right, can you see it now?
Yes.
All right, so here. It's like, you know, I mean, I don't know anything about this, and I certainly don't know about the Siege of Malta or whatever.
I've heard
But
of that
like,
one.
remember Agra? Remember when this game came out and everybody talked about how amazing it was?
I have it.
Have you ever played it?
Yes.
Any good?
Very good.
Yeah. $25 gets you a copy of Agra. Nobody
Right
cares.
now for 40 is a good price too.
Eh?
Yeah. I mean, it had this cool little like setup or whatever. Did the little thing. Anachrony. He probably did the all in on a Kickstarter.
Sucker.
All the stuffs.
That sucker. That's a great game.
Yeah. $250 comes with the expansion. Not a bid. Not a single bid. Nobody cares. No thanks.
That even has the Witcher code. That has the from the second Kickstarter.
Yeah. Nobody wants it.
It's probably shipping that's killing the bidding and all that. Me and Jen were talking. She was telling me stamps, a base stamp's going to go up to 75 cents. And I was like, wow, I remember the last time I bought one, they were like 35 or something.
Atlantis, Island of Gods. That's a solid game. It's a dexterity game, but it's still a solid game. Solid game. Besieged. Remember that game with the Kill Mini or not? 8 million. Yeah, just 8 million pieces. Betrayal on House Hill. $15. Brand new copy of this.
Oh,
Nobody
that's got a
cares.
new edition.
Black Rose Wars. I remember that was 237 items that they're selling. 10 pages. Let's see if this guy has a bid on anything.
Who is it?
This is a RPG auction that went up on like a few days ago or whatever. Just thousands, 237 games the guy's auctioning off. I haven't seen a bid on anything yet. Black Rose Wars, one of those. Hey, it's a game with 1,000 things.
Probably be worth it just to do like a convention. Just pay to go to
Yeah.
fucking Gen Con for a day, not even get a ticket. Just so, because I bought some stuff from Gen Con auctions. I'm like way more likely to bid if I know it's a pickup at a convention.
Light Chronicles, never heard of. Brass Birmingham, brand new.
Never heard of it.
Never heard
Hey,
of it.
he's got a comment on this one. $100. This guy's willing to give $100 for it.
There
Oh,
you
thanks
go.
for the lead, by the way, Lance. Big ups.
There's
Oh, did
another
he
one
reach
right
out to
below
you?
it.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, I mean, normally I don't ever send anybody to anybody, but I figured I'll send them to you in case whatever. I mean, like publisher reaching out to us, asking us how we can get his game manufactured. I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you all of my manufacturers are too busy working on my stuff, but I'll send you to somebody that I know that is a manufacturer.
Boom. Love it.
So, yeah. Okay, so it's brass games. I have no. Why are these $100? Are they out of print right now? Are the brass games out of print?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
you know they're
that's
just going to
awesome.
reprint them. Gavin doesn't say goodbye to money.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just weird.
Bristol.
Bristol 1350. I've heard that's good. Bunny Kingdoms, Bunny-Leon.
I heard nothing but good things about Bunny Kingdoms.
Nothing but good things.
It's a good game. It is. It's good.
I never heard.
Okay.
Throw it on the pile.
Um,
Richard Garfield, so that always gets me excited.
Oh, is it?
by Stealth and Sea.
Don't
The-
remember that one.
Premise of that is fantastic. I just don't have time to play war games.
Yeah.
Remember when Carnegie was coming out? And everybody was like, oh, it's Carnegie. It's like the newest, greatest game ever.
The $125 Kickstarter edition.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I wouldn't pay $125 for it.
But yeah, but have you ever said, oh man, I need to play Carnegie again.
Yes. Every day.
Castle von Logan.
You're so crotchety, Barry.
No idea. No
I thought
idea
Pop was
what
supposed to
Castle
mellow
von
you
Logan. It's
out.
worth $80.
It is, but
$80 for the retail edition. New, never played. Hey, the Sickling promo. I sell these hand over fist at conventions. Like people come up and get those. Oh, somebody bought it now. $4. Constantinopolis. Remember when Fantasy Flight Games was going to get into the Euro market? This
Yeah, that
is
game's
Yeah.
horrible.
was it?
This is their first. I played it once. It was fine. It was fine. I remember when people talked about Cryo like it was going to be great. That game was nothing special. Crypt, never heard of it. Dead Reckoning, I've heard good things. $230.
Wow.
If you want the Kickstarter
Kickstarter
Legendary
Captain.
Pledge. What?
Apparently this guy doesn't know what depreciation is.
And I've told this story before, and I will tell it again. If you go to BGG Con, go to their flea market, and you will see 20 tables and they all have the same 200 old Euros that they've never played that they're trying to sell for like $20 a piece, and nobody wants them because they already own them. You're buying too many games.
Especially
Dwellings
at
of Everdale.
$300 a pop.
Dwellings of Eldervale is an excellent game.
$300 it isn't.
No, but this is the deluxe with all the cool stuff, including the monsters that roar when you move them because they have the sound effects bases and everything.
That's
like
the Luke
that.
Laurie, right? Luke Laurie, yeah.
Yeah. Eclipse, Second Dawn for the Galaxy.
I want to play that one of these days.
Yet another game. I was promised that there would be like for some work I did for them. They're like, "Yep, we'll send you a deluxe version of it, and with all the trimmings."
They lied to your lips? No.
Well, it just never happened. So
There's a lot to remember.
I mean, it's fine. Stuff happens. I mean, I was annoyed at first. I'm a little annoyed now that I remember it, but I'm fine. I remember. I remember Enchanter's Odyssey. I remember hearing about it. Never played it. Don't know anything about it. First Class, all aboard the Orient Express. I remember people talked about that like it was the cat's pajamas.
That's a really good game.
Is it
Would
a
you
$50
spend
game?
$50 on
Probably not.
Foundations are real?
it? Yeah, the Emperor Pledge with Sundrop. New, never played. This guy isn't selling anything. He needs to lower the prices on his stuff.
I see that so much in like my local buying group, and it's like
What,
Facebook, like what? No, people are just like, do you not like? What do you think you have? Like what these aren't like baseball cards, you know? They're not maintaining the value. And I see like, I paid $180 for this on a Kickstarter, but I only want $150 back. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Nobody's giving you $150.
Yeah, really.
Yep.
Well, people don't understand that.
And when I see people say, "Oh, like stern prices," like come on, man, come on, get out.
When I call my stuff, I mean, it's like literally my friends will come over and they're like, "Well, I'll take these 12 games," and I'll be like, $150. And it's like for brand new stuff that's in shrink. Just take it, get out of here, go, see you later. The Great Wall. I remember when that was like everybody was like, "Hey, it's the Great Wall." Guilds of London, $10.
That's a really solid game.
That is a solid game. Too bad the rule book is a pile of shit.
Yes.
That
Thanks
rule
for
book
that.
is a pile of shit. And it was
that's
like,
why it's $10.
You couldn't. The problem with the rule book was that it should have the rule book should have been 10 more pages and explained what every card did. It just should have said, this card does this card does this. Instead, what the designer did was when he wrote the rule book, he said, well, I've explained the iconography at least once by explaining part of the cards. And so players should be able to figure out what the other cards do because I've already explained the iconography.
As soon as you say players should be able to figure out, period, yeah. You're not, no. It's over.
But fun game.
Solid game.
I remember when we had that at Origins, when that was released, we had that in Deluxe Orleans, and we had a line of like it was like a line of 200 people to buy one or both, either Guilds of London or because we had limited copies of both.
And if you've never been to Origins, that's crazy.
Yeah, because Origins, nobody ever shows up there for anything. So nobody cares.
The only game in town.
Iberia.
It was a decent
one.
It was okay.
You are right. The game sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can take a game that's good and make it bad.
If you're sharing screens, I do want to make a suggestion after this. I had my mind blown about 2 hours ago by some AI that I think would be very fun to tinker with on the show.
Kingsburg. I don't like the new edition. I like my old edition one.
Why?
Yeah, I haven't played the new one.
New edition just changes a few things that I don't like as much. But
I cannot disagree enough. All those modules, like there's so many choices. I think it just brings it to another level.
yeah,
It
I don't
didn't
know.
need to go to another level. It was
Yeah,
good the way it was with the original and the original expansion.
yeah.
Well, wasn't there like a
Kingsburg,
strategy that was broken in that? I think there was one where it was like the go-to. If I recall correctly, because my buddy Alan, he's terrible about that. He'll always look up strategies. If, like there's a dominant one,
You
that's
should
the
stop
one he
playing games
plays.
with him.
Yeah,
No, I
stop
love
yeah,
playing.
this,
playing.
yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
love it. I
Pick a
love trying
strategy,
to
Alan.
fight and claw and try and like figure out how to do
You'll
it.
find new friends.
Like when I beat him in like Dominion or something like that, it's like, oh yeah, how's that money strategy working there for you, partner? How's
Yeah.
that boring ass strategy going?
So I remember Kingsburg. I remember two things about Kingsburg that I remember. One, getting the queen was better than getting the king. Like getting
Yep.
an 18 was not as good as getting 17, which was
And
weird.
it wasn't even like debatable most of the time too. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember one time I rolled it and I got 18. I was like, "Look, I got 18." Then I had to, then I decided I gotta take the king, and I was like, "Wait a minute, that was stupid because that isn't good at all," you know. And then
It's not
I tried.
bad.
There's something to do with the end game, like I don't remember what it was for us, but you're right. There was something that said you should almost always do this, like when you play it. And then one of the modules that the original expansion for Kingsburg actually changed up the end game so you couldn't do that particular strategy anymore because it randomized something at the end. It wasn't deterministic. I don't remember what it was though. It's been far too long. But Kingsburg is fantastic. Great game.
Agreed.
Everybody should own Kingsburg because you can teach it in like 5 minutes and it's just fun. Rolling dice, baby. Mission Red Planet, fantastic game. Love that game.
Great.
Take Citadels and actually like
Yeah.
put some meat on the bone. And Citadels is still good. Don't get me wrong. If somebody said, "Hey, we're gonna play Citadels. You want to play?" I'd be like, "Yes, I do. Let's play." But yes, Mission Red Planet is fantastic. Mobster Metropolis. I have no idea. But he wants $110. What the fuck is Mobster Metropolis?
I don't know.
Out
It's
of print, baby.
7.7 game,
It's
no.
an oop.
It's an oop.
Monster
Ooh.
Explorer 200.
I've never even heard of that game.
I'm sure there's a few.
Somebody do a research on that and tell me what it is.
Overpriced. That's what it is.
Overpriced.
Yeah, overpriced probably easily. Notice the 0 bids he's getting on it. Monster Slaughter. This guy must have just backed every single Kickstarter. And
Yes.
Super backer.
yeah,
He's
and
a
just
newbie
like, oh,
with
you got a
some regret.
deluxe giant version of it? Yeah, I'll get that. Hey, Mythic Battles Pantheon. I owned that, and then I sold it all off.
It's a really fun game though.
Did you sell for $200?
No, I think pennies on the dollar. I got rid of it.
You sale?
Oh my God. this
Pennies
is
on the
horrible.
dollar. Oath.
Oath.
Oath is a very good game too.
I haven't played that.
Tough to get people to play though. You
That's the
really
reason
have to
I
pay
haven't played
attention to what you're doing when you play it. It got a bid though, so the 100 Tory, no idea. Never heard of it. Orleans,
Yeah.
baby. Includes the Orleans Invasion expansion.
Top 20 of all time. Well, the invasion expansion. Wait, that's the blue box. Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Top 5 expansion all time. Come at me. Come at me.
He should give someone $15 to take Otis from him.
Paint the Roses? How
You
much
like
did they want
Otis?
for that one?
Oh my God, that game is so bad.
It's rated 7.0 now.
I appreciate your honesty. PAX Premiere. Fantastic game.
Second edition, $90. You can buy it for $90 right now.
Like
Oh,
website?
$85 brand new.
85.
Oh, on a website or something?
Yeah.
Really good game, though. Would you agree, Anthony?
Amazing.
Which
Yeah,
game?
PAX.
X Premier.
PAX Premier.
I've heard nothing
I
but
mean,
good
it'll
things.
take you a long time to play, and you will barely say a word to anybody as you play it, but it is super good. I have to be in the right mindset. God, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like if somebody was like, "Hey, I saw," I think it was either at Origins. I think it had to be at Origins. I saw three guys playing PAX Premier in like the lobby of a hotel, like at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like a million people walking around making noises, and they're trying to play PAX Premier. But they got through it. They played it. You know, good for them. Good stuff, though.
Yeah,
I
PAX is not a
really,
good
really
place to learn
want
games.
them. He keeps saying he's gonna do it, but I haven't heard anything. The I played it once.
Infamous Traffic.
Yes, 3-4 years ago.
It's coming.
Yeah, that's what he's been saying that for years now.
No, it's coming
It's coming.
When?
very soon.
Yeah.
Q4.
Okay.
It'll
You
be
got-
out next year.
What?
It'll be out next year.
Like the crowdfunder?
No, the crowdfunder will be out this year. It'll be released next year.
Whoop, whoop.
All back Infamous Traffic. Like I said, I played that game 3-4 years ago. Barely understood what I was doing,
Oh, I love those kind of games.
and but it stuck with me ever since.
I'm not
That's
going
what
there.
that game is, and I can't say anything about. Maybe after hours I can tell about it, but I can't because we haven't signed it or done anything with it, so I can't say anything about it. But I mean, had no idea what I was doing. I played it for 3 hours and I had a blast.
What expression do you call something like that? I always say like I feel like I'm swimming in a game. Like what expression do you have?
I
when a
would
game
say
is like
more
that?
like treading water with
Okay,
with an anchor tied to one of my ankles.
yeah, but I just always think those like Obsession. I played Obsession for the second time tonight, and that's one of those games when I first started was just felt like I was swimming and trying to figure out what the hell's going on.
So like the first time I played John Company, like I had no idea what I was doing.
Oh, that one looks fun.
And I played the original edition of John Company.
I own both.
What?
I own both.
I got rid of my original one because I gave it to a buddy of mine who's a big heavy gamer guy after I got my second edition. Because second edition's like it fixes so many problems in that first edition one. Because they were like, hey, what if we actually like proofread the rules? Just so they did. But John Company is also. I played it twice now, and I have no idea what I was doing. But if somebody said, "Hey, want to set aside 6 hours and play John Company," and I had nothing else to do, I would do it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But I would literally have to say, "Okay, somebody else has to teach me the game, though. I cannot and will not try to remember how to play. Somebody's got to walk me through it again."
I love having friends like that.
Yeah. Chad Roberts with the funny. I thought John Company was a toilet company sim. Petrichor.
Could've went the other
No
way.
idea what Petrichor is. Who knows? It's a game that this guy wants a lot of money for.
Petrichor is what you call it. Ape games. It's about bees.
Neat.
Oh, was that phase?
Never
in the
played an
hobby.
ape game that I could not live without.
Ha. Remnants. Ha.
Remember hearing
Giant
that.
Scorpion promo card. Oh,
The
the Resistance.
Resistance?
$5
It was
get you a copy
$5.
of Resistance.
Let's get $5 spent.
Yeah.
Rome Rise to Power.
Ooh.
That game was how much do you want for that?
$15. Make you holler.
That's a game that you play once and you're like, oh, that was okay. You'll never play it again.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games.
That's why it only was $15.
Run Fighter Die Reloaded Zombie Cosplayer. We sell more Run Fighter Die Reloaded from our website. I sell a copy once every 3 or 4 days. It is because it's just basically it's King of Tokyo, but with some more decisions. And I have no idea. Like we're always like, is there some way we could make another expansion to this or something? Would it be worth our time to like reprint it or not? Something that we kick around all the time. But we
I
just-
played Run Fighter Die.
the original from 8th Summit.
I played it before 8th Summit even signed it.
Oh,
I played it with
no,
I played it with Richard.
8th Summit didn't sign it. It was made by the guy who the publisher, the guy who owned 8th Summit, designed the game.
What am I thinking of?
I have no idea.
7th Summit.
What's the Richard Launius game? With
Well,
this
Richard Launius, like I think it was him. It was him and Jason Alexander.
I think it was just Richard.
I'm gonna say I don't think
I'm gonna
so.
double check it right now. I'm pretty sure it's just Richard.
Well, I could just look here and just say, yeah, Richard Launius and Jason Maxwell, both of them.
Oh, okay.
So he knew before Maxwell.
I
That's what he's saying.
think Richard. I played it what Richard had designed. I think Jason added some stuff to it, so got a designer credit. But
Simmerg is a game that is like I don't know how to describe Simmerg. Simmerg is fun. God, what company was that made that? I'm trying to remember the name of the company. NSKN Games. Remember them? It's been a long time since I've thought of Simmerg. Skull Hollow, Skull Tales, full
Skull
sale,
Hollow.
$180. Get you the Kickstarter of Skull Tales.
Skull Hollow, low key, great 2-player game.
Yeah, it is.
Good
Very
replayability too. If I was more of a 2-player gamer, like I kept that one. That's like if I get to 2-player territory, that's what I like a lot.
Remember when Smash Up came out?
Oh my god, it's so
Yeah.
big.
I taught it 500 times at Gen Con.
Yeah,
I got home. I got home and I didn't play it for 6 months.
6 months?
I did not enjoy that game.
Sooner than I thought it would be.
Spirits of the Forest Kickstarter edition, $160 gets you Spirit of the Forest.
And a lot of stuff.
What are these games? I don't even know what these games are.
Because you don't
Stockpile.
play games anymore.
I believe this is a woman, by the way.
What's that?
Stockpile is a good game, especially with this expansion, this illicit investments.
The follow-up to the Reckoners is really damn good as well.
I haven't played the
I think it's the Reckoners. It's based off the book. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Really
Yeah, I
nice
know what you're
plastic
talking
trays. Really fun game.
Yeah. Is Nabu Games, they're gone now, right?
Nah,
I don't know.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything coming out from them.
Yeah, it's been forever. But yeah, Nabu, I think they're done.
Well,
That was a
it's
solid
got
game though. Stockpile, extremely solid game.
Yes.
No, I think I
Uh,
saw them. I think I saw them at a convention last year. The people who did Stockpile?
There's another publisher.
Are you talking about the people who do Stockpile?
Yeah, Seth Van Orden. He did the Reckoners, yeah. And then
Yeah, no, I think they're still around. Because I think I saw them at a convention last year. Yeah, they
you're
just did
probably
Raising
right.
Robots in 2023. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They're still around.
They're still around.
Stockpile's good though. Very good game.
It's on my list to play. Man, yeah, they're man, you know,
Stronghold. Good game.
they got another game called Crosstalk. It's like 3,146. They know how to pick them.
Study an Emerald.
Which one? Second?
The wrong
Second
edition.
How many editions are there of that now?
2.
Many.
Ah. Sword and Sorcery from Ares Games. And they screwed me out of one of my 2 copies that they owed me.
Sons of bitches.
Also, their convention, their booths, man, their booths, they do not bring the excitement ever.
It's like an office. Like it's like it's cubicles and whatever, right?
Really?
Yeah, it is not. They don't go over the top or anything.
They don't even reach like they don't go over. They don't get to the top. Like
I
it's
just, I mean, and I get it, and it's like it's one of those things where it happens, and I realize I got more mileage out of the story than I ever would have out of the game. But hey, do a video for our Sword and Sorcery, and we'll give you a full all in. Cool, awesome. Hey, I went to the BG contest and answered C to all the answers, but my number got pulled, and I also won another all in. So could you send the second all in to my brother? We're only going to send you one. It isn't right that it's like we're just going to send you the one that you got for the video. I was like, but you can't not. I won that one though. We're only going to send one. Cool. Thanks, Aries Games. You suck.
You're welcome.
I
Terraforming Mars. I still haven't played that. I don't think I want to. Not sure.
played it once.
I think it's really good. App's pretty good too. Not great, but it's pretty good.
Thunder and Lightning, Tragedy Looper. Good
Man,
little game.
that was
I
one of
still
those
have a
games that
copy.
I would swim in it, and then it clicked for me after like 4 plays, and I was
Oh,
just
that's
like, this game is
Tough
brilliant.
one to teach and
Twa.
learn.
One of if you can play it with the Ladies of Twa expansion, this is Twa by itself is amazing. But with that expansion, it is I don't like this this phraseology of it's like 10 out of 10 no notes. I mean, for me, Twa it's so good.
What's no
Um,
notes mean?
like
no negatives?
no negatives. I have no notes. Just
Oh,
I'm
love
assuming
Twa.
this is the first edition.
what game is the closest to that for you? That's a really cool question.
I mean,
I
as far
said
as like
Twa.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess that
just a fun little dice hero, just that is really really thinky. So,
Tsukiyomi.
there you go. Hey, Sugiyumi from Gray Fox Games. Be on the lookout for the new expansion coming from King Raccoon later this year. We're handling all of the American.
Tsukiyumi? Never heard of it.
Yeah,
200.
Sukiyumi. How Sukiyumi you? There you go. Unfair. Fun game, but it's really only worth playing once.
Oh, I went to
Unforgiven,
this
the
one
Lincoln
and I forgot about it.
assassination trial. No way. And then, so I counted 4 bids that this guy. Remember when Vikings Gone Wild came out and everybody lost their minds?
that's still a great
They
game.
went wild.
Yeah.
They jumped the shark with the expansions, though. It's just it got to be a little too much, which is really saying something. Because I normally love when they jump the shark on expansions, but it's still a great game. Top 10 deck builder, in my opinion.
So they are. I'll tell you right now that if we bring War of the Worlds Kickstarter editions with us to conventions, I mean, we sell these for like $30.
Yeah.
The if you like 2-player deck builders, this is fantastic. It really, I mean, it sounds weird that like I know I work for the company, but this got published before I was even with the company. One person plays the aliens, one person plays the humans. The aliens have a limited amount of time because eventually they're gonna catch the cold and they're gonna die. And so they have to move from the top of the board, the top of the United Kingdom, down as quickly as possible and control a certain number of spots. The weaponry that you have as the aliens just obliterates the humans. Like you can't. The humans can't stand to fight them. So the whole purpose, as the human player, is to basically evacuate the civilians away from the aliens so they can't be killed, because that's one of the ways the aliens can win is by killing enough humans, and just basically throwing your military units against them to just slow them down, because you can't you can get super lucky maybe and destroy a walker, but for the most part there's nothing you can do to stop them. So it's you're kind of going back and forth as far as that, and it's really well balanced out. Fantastic game. Like I said, it's as far as like a deck building goes, really fun.
Also, pretty good Keanu Reeves movie.
Huh?
You mean Tom Cruise?
Was it Tom?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tom Cruise. That's
It
right.
was Tom
Oh
Cruise.
my
and it
gosh, I
wasn't
went
the
and saw
greatest.
that 3 times with 3 separate women on 3 separate.
Hey, and he's got a ton of
Man.
comments. Let's see if he got a bid.
How old was I? How old was I?
Just people asking questions. Nobody actually bid on them. But anyway, but Wonderland's War got
2005. I was 19. Oh my god, yeah, that was a life ago. That was when I lost all the weight, and so I was like trying to raise my self-esteem by dating as many women as humanly possible. Just getting on like Plenty of Fish and just copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. Man, it was bad news back then.
You see your good news now?
Great news, man. I'm great news. I'm a gravy train with biscuit wheels right now. I feel good. Very happy.
But anyway, yeah. So that's just like I was like, oh, it's like I haven't checked out one of these things in a long time. Like as far as like I haven't checked out a uh these auction things in forever, and it's just kind of like, and I don't think it used to be a really good way for people uh to get rid of their stuff and to, but I mean, man, when you sell everything overpriced like that, you're not going to sell shit. I mean, like you have to almost like give the shit away. And then if you're going to give the shit away, just give the shit away local. Then you don't have to worry about shipping it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Can we pivot here? You ready to have your mind blown?
Pivot.
Yes, pivot.
Okay. Lance, just keep sharing your screen. Go make some music with AI at udio.com. It's absolutely incredible. You won't believe it. It's just like, it's the most mind-blowing thing. And it's as simple as just like ChatGPT. It's just like, here's what I want my song to be. I want it to be about this. I want it to be this style. You can put in lyrics if you want to. If not, it'll come up with it. And then you get like popped out 33-second songs. And then from there, you can add to them, you can change them, and they don't sound terrible. It's insanity. Like I was playing with it right before my game night. I only had like 20 minutes, but I made like a rap song about how I get so many ladies reviewing board games. And it's like also I want you to mention Twilight Imperium 4th Edition and Catan and Blood on the Clock Tower in the song, and then I want you to talk trash about the Dice Tower and try and start beef with them in a rap song. And it was 33 seconds, and it was like one of them was like, "Oh my gosh, it's legitimately not terrible. Like it's pretty good." And that's with zero fine tuning on it. It is so fun. It's free to use. Udio.com. UDIO. I think we could make some fun ones about the podcast. And it's just
I don't want to use AI for anything.
oh my gosh. Stick in the mud, man. It's so fun. It's so fun. You're neglecting you're neglecting yourself for fun. It's fun to play with. Like if Scott were here, oh my gosh, Scott's got to get on it.
Then you and Scott can wander off and do your own thing and
Okay.
make all the things.
I get it. We wouldn't want some interesting original content on the show. I mean, that's just not what we do. Let's go back to old stories. I'm just saying, you could literally turn one of your old stories into a song. You could take a grievance because it's fucking funny. It's crazy. It's
I also don't like anything
you just
where I
said
have to
it's a
sign
30-second
in using my
song.
Google account or anything like that. I don't like sharing my information. Yes, I know the information's already out there. They probably already co-opted it without me knowing. But I that's something I don't like doing either. Whenever it's like, oh, sign in with your so and such account, and give us your identity so we can,
okay,
stuff like that. It's just I don't.
I get that. I get that.
I try to avoid sharing my shit as much as possible.
Yeah, please keep your shit to yourself.
I got some crazy ideas I'm gonna do with it. Like I have so many. Like I saw it and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna make so many videos with this potentially. Like I want to make like music videos, like YouTube short music videos and stuff with this. Like It's just mind blowing. The technology is straight. I played it for my wife, and she's also not the big, like, she doesn't get into the AI. She like, me and the kids do big time, and she was just like, I was like, you want to listen to this? She's like, not really. And I was like, go. I'm super excited about it. She's like, okay. And she listens to it. She's like, wow, it's really good. And then I always, when I do this sort of stuff, I'm always like, this is the sandbox that we're playing in. How big is the sandbox? How deep does it go for the people who are like on the cutting edge of this? And it just blows my mind, like, to even think about. And once we get like, well, like, entire industries are just going to be rocked from this. This, like, the like everyone's going to start. Oh my gosh, it's just like, I don't even know. It's just so insanely incredible, and I recommend everybody who ever watched this check it out if you don't mind, giving the information. Udio.com. It's free. It's mind blowing. But I'm done. I gotta work. I told myself I wasn't going to get on it tonight, but I want to get on it and do nothing but get on it and make songs and try and experiment with like stuff that I could turn into like YouTube videos. Because I think there's a huge potential market if you could find it with this educationally. Like, I think you could really make educational songs using this, and those could be really popular, like study songs. Like, yo, here's a banger about the Revolutionary War that's actually like informative, like, which anyone could do, but this makes it just a billion times easier. All right, I'm done with the AI. Not the crowd tonight. Not the crowd.
So, any new job fun stories that you can tell me that'll drive me fucking insane?
I got a game, and then let me think about. Oh yeah, so I switched my role. I'm loving it. I now. Well, I talked about how I'm now the person who's like assigning leads, and it's really neat because it's like I get to see everybody. Like, I got this questionnaire to fill out, but I'm also cleaning up the system in the back end. Like, so we have like over 1,000 leads, and a lot of them are just dead, because most people that reach out, it doesn't happen. You don't make games, but a lot of the people that have worked here just were really bad at pruning their stuff, so they would just sit there and sit there and sit there, and like, it's really fascinating because essentially I'm going through every single person who's ever worked here's work emails that they send, because they have the timeline where it lists all the emails between you and the customer. And what I'm trying to do is either salvage these customers by saying, hey, we can give you a discount on this, I'm sorry that this fell through the cracks or whatever, or just cut it. Like, in 2 months, be like, oh, we haven't had any response, they're gone, and now we just cleared out 500 things in the system, which will just make everything so much smoother, just in the back end. And it's yeah, so that was pretty cool. I suggested it to my boss, and he's like, oh my god, I've wanted to do that forever. And I was like, wow, apparently it's a great thing to ask about. And he's like, yeah, wait, if you have any more ideas, just run it by me on WhatsApp, and then most likely I'll be down for it. So I'm like wedging myself into the company as like this, kind of indisposable, hopefully, fingers crossed, person. Or maybe even not indisposable, just like, I'm making the next person who does this job way easier. Like, I'm sure we've all had that at our work where it's like, this is going to make, like, I'm doing a lot of work so that everyone after this is going to have a much easier the time. But, and also that's the other thing too. Like, I saw exactly why my boss, Jez, got like promoted. It's just so cool. It's so weird. I felt like such a voyeur going through everyone's emails with these customers, but it was interesting. Other than that, though, they're pushing back the trip to Malaysia for a couple weeks because my boss really wants me to come to China so I can see the factory. So we're pushing it back so I can get my visa. So it looks like I'm gonna be in Malaysia and China for a couple weeks in late May, which is super exciting from every possible perspective I can possibly think about. Like, because I always just feel like this is house money. And I know that drives you guys nuts, where it's just like, I'm here for the ride, but me and my wife don't need this money, but it's amazing. And now we're starting to feel it too. Like, things are getting so much less stressful because it's like, we can just throw money at it and boom, the problem's gone. And you've talked about this numerous times, Lance. I'm not saying like this is a
Isn't it a wonderful thing?
It is a wonderful thing.
See?
It is. But I also think part of the reason why my boss likes me so much is because I'm not I'm not busting his balls. Like I'm putting the trust there because I feel like that's the kind of person he is because he's got so much on his plate. It's insane how much he has on his plate. And I mean, he runs an entire factory. You know, he's got everything to deal with. But yeah, so I'm super excited about the trip. But I also I think about it from Bauer's Game Corner's perspective. It's like, yeah, I've been inside a factory. I've been inside a Chinese factory. We're planning on potentially going when we go to China, some other Chinese factories. So I'm going to be seeing these factories and just having this firsthand experience and being able to talk about the hobby from just another perspective. Like, oh yeah. Like I've seen some of the machines that they do this, and it's really kind of neat with this, that, the other thing. And it adds to this credibility that I'm building because at the end of the day, the whole goal is Bauer's Game Corner full time, and retiring and driving across the country. And I'm getting so many extra pieces of board game expertise, quote unquote, that I will forever be able to talk about. What's the middle finger there, Lance?
That's not a middle finger. I'm just listening. It's good to have goals, man. It's good to have goals.
I don't think it's not unfeasible.
So in your world, basically you're retired, and how are you going to afford driving cross country with no job?
Because I'm gonna make the money on Bauer's Game Corner. I don't consider Bauer. Yeah, but I don't consider it work. So yes, technically I'm still working, but to me it's retired because I'm going to focus more on video games. I'm going to focus more on Kickstarter live streams, which once again, I don't consider work.
Okay, you say that, but when right now any money you make on Bauer's Game Corner is the it's the toppings on the sundae, right? It's just kind of like, oh, hey, I'm doing this other thing or whatever, but Bauer's Game Corner made me an extra whatever. So let's just say $500 or whatever. Let's just throw it on a note. That $500, if you didn't have that $500, then it wouldn't be a big deal. Because if you didn't have it, you'd be fine. And if you have it, cool, great. But if you're retired, and here's the deal, unless you are paying into Social Security and things like that, when you're retired, you don't get to take the money out. You have to work and be paying into those things to get that money eventually when you are retired and you're able to pull that money. So you will need to rely on a retirement strategy, like a 401k and things like that to help out. And if you don't have that stuff, instead of oh, hey, I can go ahead and make a video for this, or right now, you're I'm going to do all this stuff and and I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying, but it will become more like a job, because if you look at the super, super successful YouTube channels, the way they do it is scheduled content of scheduled things that there's all kinds of your thumbnail needs to look like this. Your titles need to say this. Things that it's major YouTube star canceled. Having that on your thumbnail, it'll how many times have you seen a thumbnail and then you click on it and the actual title of the YouTube video doesn't match up with the actual thumbnail at all, because the thumbnail drives traffic to people clicking on the video. So it's stuff like that. Yeah.
I can easily do that. I just don't put the time into it. These are things that if I didn't have
what
kids...
I'm saying is that let me finish. Is that if you decide, oh, my wife's gonna quit her job, I'm gonna quit my job, my kids are out of the house, we're gonna sell our house, we're gonna buy an RV.
Whoa, we're not selling the house. We're not selling the house.
Okay, well,
no way, no.
We're gonna buy an RV and we're just gonna travel the country, and I'm gonna be pumping out YouTube videos every 2 days or whatever.
Paid YouTube videos. I'll do the other stuff too, but the paid YouTube videos.
Who's gonna pay you?
Who's gonna pay me? I have people. I could make so much more money now if I promoted my Fiverr. My reviews on Fiverr, they're fucking sparkling. If I actually got my fucking ass into gear on Fiverr, and like because they have incredibly strict guidelines on the level system, and my communication is piss poor, as Lance found out, just a couple days ago. Like I'm not like I need to get notifications sent to me on Fiverr, but the bottom line is I'm like 4.8 out of 5 on all my stuff, like, and my credibility is through the roof. Like, say what you will about me, you can't fucking doubt my credibility. You never can.
But how many Fiverr videos do you do in a month?
I don't try right now. Like
I
when I was
didn't
actually
ask you
trying,
that. Answer my question. How many Fiverr
probably
videos
about
do you do?
3 right now.
Okay.
But that's because I am
and-
at the bottom of the pecking order because I'm a level 0. I'm not even level 1 anymore. They've knocked me down, so I'm all the way on the bottom.
But you
And
have
I
all
don't
this
promote them.
credibility.
And I don't no, that doesn't matter. Like I'm still a 4.8 out of 5. You still see the numbers there and say, holy shit, this guy's got 48 reviews. They're all fucking sparkling for the most part. And I don't even pound my chest that much. Like every day on my Kickstarter critique, I should be mentioning right on the front, you can get this service, or you can get one pre-launch if you want to save yourself potentially, some of the awkwardness of stuff like that. Like I should be. J. Cormier just emailed me a couple weeks ago. He was like, yeah, you should absolutely be doing this. Like, I do actually do it. I just don't fucking talk about it because I'm an idiot. Because I'm focused on this, that, the other thing. But have I actually tried to pound my chest? Because the bottom line is I have 27,000 subscribers, which looks way more impressive if you don't look into it too much because of all the fucking plumbing videos and stuff like that. Like, because most new Kickstarter people, they just see the number. All right, 27,000, this price, boom, done. Most of them don't put the fucking research in. I think that's safe to say.
By the
Lance,
way, do
would
I
you
need to
agree?
put you on my list of people to send their shit to when it comes out?
Light stuff. Light stuff. Nothing heavy.
You just
Put
got
me
to
on-
saying how
put
much
me
you
on the
like
list,
heavy games.
Lance.
What?
Put me on the list.
Hey, what did you say about free games?
Mine.
I turned down so much. I turned
I
down
used to
more
get
than I
stuff when
take
you
down
worked
my
for
emails.
TMG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I did take one that I had no interest in at all because I saw they had 5,000 pre-launch subscribers and like 100,000 reviews of like this book series, and I was like, "Whoa, yep. Send me that one. Send me that one." They emailed me, and I was like, oh, "Okay." They're like, "It's based on a New York Times bestseller," and I was like, "Oh yeah, whatever." And then I actually looked it up. I was like, "Oh shit, this is gonna be."
My
big.
point is that if your end goal is to be Mr. YouTube guy, and that's what you're going to rely on to keep the RV running and
10 years.
and do whatever,
That's
you're
what
going to
I've been
have
doing.
to treat it like a job, and it won't. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Now's
I'm
not the
wrong.
time though, Lance. I don't have
I
to. 'Cause
understand it. I understand.
because I
But when
treat
that time
hero time like a
comes,
job.
it's going to feel like a job. It is absolutely going to feel like a job at that time.
I don't think so because I'm going to be able to do varied content. I'm going to be able to
If
do the
you
video
if it's up
games.
to you whether or not you can fill your gas tank the next day of making sure the next video is done or
Oh
whatever.
my gosh, I'm not making that reckless of financial
That's okay. He'll
decisions.
just ask people to buy him a coffee.
Yeah, a coffee. That's it. Hey,
That's
by
the
the
new
way, in about Anthony and I have a special request for you.
Ooh, that's fun.
And to do a Kickstarter critique, and we'll talk about it more when we do off the
You go
air.
dark.
Okay.
When
I
we go
did-
dark, we have a special request.
I actually had one which got a little weird today. I did Wormwood. And I actually did 2 videos going into the the allegations, which were some really gut punch allegations last year. Like I shot a 40-minute video, where
Oh, the sexual harassment stuff.
yeah. And then the Kickstarter page was amazing because it's an A, but by the way, check out this video down here because if you don't want to immorally potentially spend your money, you might want to see the stuff down here. So it was this really weird thing where I was like, I can't.
Did anything ever come out of that?
I don't know. Well, once I shoot a video, it's in
Who
one ear, out
cares?
the
Yeah,
other.
it's out there.
I'm
I'm
just
like,
wondering,
covering
man.
this true or not.
I mentioned
It
that in the
was-
video. I was like, and I said this in the video. I was like, there's so much crap that happens in the hobby that they're gonna skate. They're gonna totally skate. And in fact, I even mentioned it. I stopped in the middle of the video. It was so weird because normally they have the PR guy, the snazzy PR guy with the fancy glasses. He wears his sunglasses at night because he's so cool, being the main image guy. And this time they wasn't. It was much more focused on the CEO. And I was like, oh, I wonder if that's because I'm pretty sure he was at the eye of the storm of the big controversy. But then later on in the video, he was in it. I was like, oh, that's him right there. Holy shoot. He skated. He skated. It was oh man. Yeah, it was a
Well,
weird
the thing
video.
about it was like all the rage, and then it was like and then it just went away.
Oh, that's what always happens.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what
with
always
everything.
happens. Like anyone who, and I see people like, oh, I'm so devastated. Like Quackalope. You didn't need to go away. You just needed to. You just need to get the testicular fortitude to just say, all right, yeah, it's over. Moving on. Like, because yeah, he's a pariah. There's gonna be people who probably won't work with him for blah 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 blah. But most people aren't gonna care, and most people aren't gonna know.
He just recently posted that he's got to like go out and get a real job and like just do his YouTube channel as a side project now.
Well, then he shouldn't have quit his
Wah,
YouTube channel and tried to do
wah,
fucking books
wah.
or something. He should have just
Mhm.
stayed the damn course, because at the end of the day, next week, there's going to be a small minority, a vocal minority, who's going to piss and moan and be upset about it. But the 85% of people on Kickstarter, if not board games, even more, it's probably more, aren't going to give a shit. They're not going to care. Like, it's just, I think that was, yeah. Like, you just got to get through the storm. You can't stop.
Well, sometimes it sticks though. Some
And if
people
it,
can get through the storm because something else happens and something that's more interesting or
how's Dan
whatever.
Arrington doing? Like how are so like they just got to keep going. You got to keep going. It's a short memory in this hobby. There's a long memory with a lot of people, but for most people, it's a short memory.
Every once in a while, like I said, one of them just sticks, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
I legitimately believe that if JR had just continued to stay in the hobby, he'd be getting jobs now. He'd be getting Kickstarter work now. Because there's always there's just so many new people getting into the hobby all the time. And he could point to his credentials and he could say, boom, right there.
I will say this, and I mean I don't really want to spend a lot of time talking about JR. The problem with JR was the distance that he fell. You know, it was Icarus flew too close to the sun. You know what I mean? If he had just been like another guy and they said some things about him or whatever, but like, and this is when you have somebody whose persona or appearance is that of somebody who is, extremely progressive, and then that stuff bubbles to the surface, the hypocrisy is too much. The weight is too much.
Oh, sorry. I know you're thinking the Norm Macdonald joke right now, aren't you?
Yeah, well, it's the hypocrisy. Yeah, it's like
The hypocrisy, Jared.
yeah, it's like what really hurts. It's the hypocrisy. Like he's like, oh really? I thought the worst thing was the sexual abuse. Just Norm.
Never again. Never another one.
I did like the fact that like immediately after OJ died, there were like several YouTube compilations of every single one of Norm's OJ jokes, including so many good ones like well, it's true, everyone, and it just showed the OJ innocent or whatever. Murder is now legal in California.
I still think the joke of the ESPYs is the best about Charles Woodson.
The crowd didn't know whether they should laugh or like groan, or they had no idea.
Yeah, there's Charles Woodson, defensive player MVP. Couldn't take that, or Heisman can't take that away from you unless you murder a waitress or boyfriend.
Murder your ex-wife and a waiter.
Ah, God. Right in front of the ESPYs crowd.
Yeah,
Yes.
just didn't care. Or what was it?
It's funny how often you think of Norm. Before we were talking about the cigarette thing, I was thinking about Norm. And the whole, of course you gotta go after the kids. You know, no guy in his 50s are going, hey, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start smoking.
I like the what it was like when he said that the like because the hat that OJ Simpson supposedly was wearing the night that he killed Nicole Brown Simpson, and it's just like
that's my lucky stabbing hat.
That's my lucky stabbing hat. Be careful with that. It's my lucky stabbing hat.
The pictures OJ standing like this in court with his arms out.
Yeah.
Rare picture of OJ showing how to stab two people at the same time.
Yeah. Or he had the one where he said in a recent interview, O.J. Simpson said that he would have died
You would have
to
taken a
save
bullet.
Nicole Brown Simpson's life. Man, talk about bad luck. The one person that would die for you is the one that murders you. Just horrible. Oh. Yeah, look at that. Robert Burton. OJ claimed he would take a bullet for Nicole. Man, is that some bad luck, I tell you, when the one person who would die for you kills you. Just horrible. Well, now he's dead.
Yes.
Best running back of all time, though, for my money.
What?
Best running back. It's best running back season of all time. I mean,
best running back season of all time?
Yeah, I should clarify that.
I mean, in all honesty, the one he had 2 years later after the 2,000-yard one was probably better. If you look at it, he was a more efficient runner and he caught more passes.
Well, here's the thing though. How garbage were they though? Like he was the only thing you could do. But they knew it was going to be all OJ, and still 2000.
Well, no, that's true. And the thing was a 14-game season. 14-game season. But if you're going to talk about, and I will die on this hill, if you are going to talk about the greatest running back of all time,
wait. I'm taking
Jim Brown. There is no
Really?
other answer. Jim Brown.
I never watched Jim Brown, but the fact that you say that, wait, instead of Adrian Peterson,
No. AP was good, but AP is maybe top 10. But
great, not good, great. Like legendary, Herculean at some points. If he
Jim
wouldn't have
Brown-
spanked his kids too hard, he would be 4 or 5 spots higher on everybody's running back charts.
The one
Look
stat,
into Jim Brown a little bit
go
more
watch Jim
for us.
Brown run, but the one stat that sells me for Jim Brown: 5.6 yards per carry for a career.
He was running against plumbers.
He was
This was
also,
before
He was
roids.
also running through lines where everyone on the offensive line and defensive line was 350 pounds or bigger.
Yeah. So Anthony, when you get back, you got to do your initials, then we can let Forrest go. Anthony's gonna speak the initials here. I'm gonna ping Evan. See if
Why
can
do
get
I
him
have to
shown.
go? Why do I have to go? We can let Forrest go.
Well, you said you weren't even gonna come on because you got all this work to do or whatever. So
No, he
No,
said he
he
wasn't
gonna
going
play
that
with the AI
software.
stuff.
Yeah, I wanted to focus on nothing but AI all night. That's what I wanted to do. I would dick with AI for hours and hours.
Hours and hours.
See, that's the thing where I don't think it's going to be work when I get free time because at the ADHD, man, I will find something that interests me and I'll make content on it. Like,
That's good in a sense.
and I think because here's the plan. Like, this isn't going to go into effect until my daughter's 18 at a minimum. So essentially, there's 16 years to build this up. And if I
you'll
just
probably have like 5 more kids.
no, I'm snipped. We're done.
Yeah,
I got the snip.
okay.
We're good.
we talked about that. Remember, let's.
Yeah. So I got 16 years to continue to push this rock up the mountain, and I only slowly get like I slowly gain more quality on the channel, and if I crush it at Hero Time, and it does pivot to where it's the Bowers Game Corner, but it's through Hero Time, and I'm getting playmats sent to me with the Hero Time logo on them soon. Like that's where I can really start focusing on upping the professionalism and upping the social media game and making sure that I'm actually on Twitter and on Facebook and on Instagram and actually sharing stuff and cross doing stuff. Because right now I don't do that shit because I know it's why all the other content creators that started when I started or when you started got burnt the fuck out. Because there's just never enough time to do everything you want to do as good as you want to do it. And if you do it, you're going to get those videos that inevitably fail miserably. And then you're going to get down on yourself because of all the time that you invested into that failure. And it's just, I don't do it. I don't do it.
Do you know how many times like I would be like, I tell somebody I do a Kickstarter video for me and I always, there were a lot of them that I just didn't get done. And I didn't take my fee until after I was done with the video, until they were happy with it. But do you know how many times it was like,
Brave
they're
man.
launching. It was like they're launching tomorrow, and I'm up at like 1 o'clock in the morning trying
Yeah.
to get a video done.
I do know that. It's
I
terrible.
mean, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It was like I hated being up that late, trying to get that shit done, losing my mind.
It's why my wife stopped playing board games, is because I did too many Kickstarters. And it was like the rules were just so bad. It just became not a fun experience for her. Like, man, all the bad stuff, like, especially the early Kickstarters, like now they're so much more polished than when you and I were doing those videos all the time. God, some of the like, oh, when the first revolution of all these freaking miniatures companies are like, yeah, now we're gonna make games, and it's like that first wave of their game, just with like the god awful rules because they're from Estonia, but damn, they got pretty minis. Like those, oh god, and those games are only gonna age more poorly. People are gonna find those games like a decade from now, look at those components, be like, what is this? This looks amazing. Read the rules and just be like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Indeed.
I need a minute before initials though.
And Evan's definitely not coming, or we don't know.
I just pinged him. I'm seeing if he responds. But yeah, there we go. Waiting patiently.
I hold in my hand.
Actual viewer mail, actual letters from actual viewers. Oh, hey, something weird I learned today that I didn't know, and you probably knew this already, Anthony, because you always know this crap, and you're the only one here. Did you know that David Letterman was up for the role, the leading role as Stryker in the movie Airplane?
Yes, I did.
I didn't know that. I found that out today. Who knows if he would have been any good at it?
Probably not. Because
Probably not.
he's said many a time he is not an actor.
Oh, you okay?
He was good in Mork and Mindy.
Oh,
And
good. Hey, you want your bed?
that's
You want
the
your
role
bed?
He says that should prove that he is not an actor.
All right, let me go get a drink of water, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
There you go, big boy. Hey, you want a blanket?
Talking to the dog in.
Good boy. Here you go, boy.
So, Forrest,
Huh?
did you talk to your boss today?
I don't talk to my boss most days. He's so busy. I talked to my boss.
I had seen
Let's
that he had gone to Israel to see family and clients.
Well, I mean, he flies around the world, dude. He's got.
Yeah, but around the world there's not bombings and Iran drone attacks and stuff.
Oh, is that in Israel? Is that what's
Yes.
going on? I don't pay attention that much. Damn, that's rough. Yeah. I'll try and not bug him even more. It'll be a pleasant, because he doesn't know how much I've been doing in the system. It's gonna be a pleasant surprise when he gets back to the system and there's 200 less leads that he has in his inbox. Are you gonna jerk everybody around with the actual initials, or you're just gonna tell us what they are? It's like a tradition. Did you write it on a small post-it note?
No, actually, you know what? I'm gonna write it really big on a piece of paper. Hold on.
Oh my
Thanks,
gosh.
Lars.
Initials version 2. I like it. I can get behind this.
Can you? I think Lane's going to win this one.
Nah, I'm feeling on my game. I'm feeling on my game. My brain is percolating right now. I had a really good game night, and that AI got me so excited. And I've been cleaning my garage like hardcore because my son, he's like, "Hey, Dad, can we have like a workout area in the garage?" And I was like, "Fuck yes, we can." Like, yes, yes. I thought you'd never asked. Let's go. And so that like lit this fire underneath me, and I probably put like 20 hours of solid time in the garage in the last 5 days. Like, just because I'm a hoarder. Like, I'm a
Nah.
bad hoarder. I'm a recovering hoarder. So
This is recovered.
oh yeah. Well, the games
Mhm.
don't count. The games are work. The games are work. That's how I look at it. But in my garage, like it's a nice size 2-car garage, but you would have to pretty much take about, I guess, 16 inches off of every single wall just because there's so much stuff that I had just Tetrised against the wall. And I was like, all right, we're gonna clear out all this space. And like I actually like cleaned it, deep cleaned it. I'm in the process still. Like I was chopping down wood to fit better in places and just oh my gosh, like I'm all about it right now. Super excited. Then my wife got excited about it too because she's like trying to lose weight and just not happening at all. And like then and I was like, all right, we can get a treadmill. And like she's super excited. Like, yeah, very excited. My brain, I've like long story short, I feel like I'm gonna kick the shit out of everybody. I'm feeling good.
Okay.
I lost every single game at game night tonight, so I am due.
He is due.
0 for 4.
Oh, I bet did anybody watch that Fallout series?
I watched the first episode and I was really, really, really impressed. As a Fallout fan.
I
I
know
don't
nothing about it.
I I don't know.
I watched the series and I did like the series. Me and Jen watched the whole thing over the last 4 or 5 days, whatever it was. But I know nothing about the video games. I've heard of them, but I never played one or anything like that.
There's if you like the show, I'd recommend one of the games. If you just honestly, if you just smash Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, they're so dang good. Or actually New Vegas probably now that they patched everything up. Any
Yeah,
one of those three are just they're so much fun to just explore the world. Just forget the main quest and just wander around. It's some of the best video games of all time, in my opinion.
Or did you watch the Twisted Metal
I
show?
did, yeah.
I did not. I'd have no attachment to Twisted Metal. The only reason I wanted to see it was because I saw Samoa Joe was in it, and then when I realized he wasn't voiced by Will Arnett, I had no interest to watch it. Even though I do like Mackie a lot. Anthony Mackie.
Anthony Mackie, yeah.
Yeah, I like him a
Yeah.
lot.
No, it was really good. I've
Yeah.
never played the game. But
Yeah, neither have I. Well, that was a
How
good
long are those
series, too.
episodes?
How long?
Roundabout.
Hour, I think.
45
Hour?
minutes?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that's what I could talk my wife into. I don't think she'd have any interest at all in that. Is there like a how long's like continuing story, right?
It's one story. It's
Yeah.
8 episodes.
Yeah, I think it was less than, yeah, I don't think it was 10.
I'm not a big TV guy. I don't watch very much. I watch too many
Channels.
sports, so I just don't.
Yeah.
And my
The
wife.
Fallout, go
No, go ahead.
The Fallout surprised me because Jen got into it. Yeah. And like I said, I know nothing about it. She knows nothing about it, but she
It
enjoyed
is
it.
10 episodes, Twisted Metal.
Is it? Okay. I couldn't remember.
Is it good action or is it good story or is it good both?
It's good both. And
both,
it's funny
yeah.
also.
Yeah.
All right, I like Will Arnett. You know what? I'll give that a shot. I like Will Arnett. I was just disappointed because I thought Samoa Joe would be perfect. I think he'd be a great actor.
Well, he acts, he just doesn't do the voice.
I know,
Yeah.
but I love his voice. Like Lance can get it. Like Samoa Joe's got a great voice. Like
He's
he
not
can
plugged
talk
in
on
yet.
the mic.
All right, we ready, Lance?
No, I'm not ready yet. Hold on. Gotta let the dogs out and let the dogs in.
Who let the dogs out? Lance.
Had to grab myself a tasty beverage.
What I did.
That's right.
Myself some coffee.
A&W Zero, baby.
Delicious.
I can't see it.
TG.
EG.
Hold on, it's in focus. I can't see
What
it.
is it?
It's gotta get
can't-
blurry first.
TQ?
EG. As in, thank God Anthony's not playing.
Okay, and so hey, and initials 2.0 rules uh are in place. The winner has to do the thing the next week. So
Well,
The
it's
next
already
week,
okay.
okay.
I'll do it again next week. It's a very limited audience.
Well, no. How about we keep it in the back burner, so that way we'd have one, just in case. So the other person, like one of us, doesn't show up. It's like we have one in the backlog. So yeah, because I think with Chat GPT's help, I could surely get this done.
All right. We ready?
Yes.
Item number one.
Oh, perfect. He's gonna be
Just
so
in time to
thrilled.
go away because he hates this game.
No, he hated version 1. This re-implements the game, but with improved rules.
While Fake Barry's coming in, Lance, how many versions of the actual game have we gone through?
3.
There's two
Ooh.
more.
No, they've only made 3.
No, there's 2 more on the website. 4 and 5 are available now.
Oh, we should have Scott order them.
Because I went on there to check the
pissed
number
off
of
about it.
questions, the number of clues on the thing, and 4 and 5 are now available.
Ooh. Just hit him up for a review copy, Lance.
Oh, so they are.
Morning, chaps.
You could get an easy review copy. Yeah, we play this literally every week, and I shout you out every week.
Barry, you made it just in time for initials.
Oh,
Your favorite game.
I was watching this on bloody my PlayStation 5 in the other room, and I was like, "There's only 4 of them still. Oh, I know. I'm gonna go and switch on and join in and have a chat with them, seeing as I'm awake.
Barry's the real MVP.
I'll
That's
play
awesome.
I
Okay.
bet Evan.
just for your
initials
amusement."
are T and G. As in, thank God you came.
Said the
Ready?
prostitute.
Item number 1. Associated with Jason Taylor.
Can you write down the name?
So I gotta ask a question.
What?
Are you doing this with library rules, meaning that the definitive article "the" can't be like for example?
The Grinch.
No, it's not library rules. I know what you're talking about.
So we definitely can have something where it's the blank is TG.
Correct. You could
Okay.
have that.
All right, very good.
Okay. Clue number 2. Spun off from Girlfriends. Clue number 3. Associated with Jets. Number 4. 1997 Michael Douglas Sean Penn movie.
Lance,
Lance.
the game.
The game is correct.
Ooh, it's a good movie.
The next clue is if you know the answer, then you've already lost.
That's card worthy.
Lance is on the board. Item number 2. Associated with a lullaby. Influenced by a prince. Clue number 3. Responsible for millions of album sales. Had a run-in with Dee Snider, Frank Zappa, and John Denver. Was a second, but could have been a first if not for some hanging chads. Final clue. Founding member of the PMRC, which caused parental advisory labels.
Barry.
Barry.
Lance.
Tipper Gore.
Barry. Tipper Gore.
I couldn't remember her first name.
Hey, yeah, okay.
I had
There
it
you
at the Chads. I just couldn't remember the first name.
I
I
never
wanted to say
heard her
Teresa
name.
at first.
All right.
That makes sense being from not America. Yeah.
Number
Yeah.
3. Briefly seen with monkeys in 1968. In the 60s, was often seen at a shindig or a hullabaloo. associated with Elvis, Sonny and Cher, and John Denver. Has worked with Francis Ford Coppola, Martin Scorsese, and Steven Spielberg. Clue number 5. She's not the one in the turban. Final clue. This popular actress is featured in Young Frankenstein, Mr. Mom, and Close Encounters.
Oh, Lance.
What?
Lance.
Terry Garr.
Terry Garr.
That
He was
name
in
passed
the
my
movie
head.
Head
Mm.
with the monkeys in 1968.
I had no idea.
There you go. Lance
Jack
2,
Nicholson,
Barry 1.
too.
What's Terry Garr doing now?
She has multiple sclerosis.
I imagine she's
Not-
watching this
She's
show.
not doing much. Yeah.
You want me to tweet at her, try and get her to join?
Last scene, I believe, playing Phoebe's mother on Friends.
Mm,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Clue number 1. Associated with traffic. The T was originally a C. Babysat by Lizzie Borden. Clue number 4. Made a guest appearance in a show's finale and another guest appearance in the show's sequel. He once sliced up Anakin Skywalker.
Nice. Ah.
Final clue. He has been an anti-hero and a dumbass from Wisconsin.
Oh.
5, 4, 3.
Barry,
Barry.
that guy.
Nope. 5,
Uh,
4, 3,
What the hell's his name?
2.
Forrest.
Forrest.
No way. I'm not giving it away. Never mind. Done. I'm not giving somebody my answer.
5, 4,
Good.
3, 2,
I
1.
got nothing.
Topher Grace.
Damn it.
Oh.
Yeah. That 70s show.
Yeah.
He's in the movie Traffic. His name is actually Christopher.
I didn't know that.
When he was a kid, the girl who played Lizzie Borden in the Lizzie Borden show was his babysitter. That Chloe 78, whatever her name is.
No mention of Spider-Man 3. No mention
Yeah.
of Die Hard 4.
He played an anti-hero. Venom's an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And a dumbass from Wisconsin.
That's what gave it to me. I just couldn't think of his name.
All right. Next item.
Next item.
This is the answer that made me pick the initials for this.
Oh, joy.
All right.
Well, the funny thing is, in the very beginning, when you were talking about like when I was asking for library rules, I was actually going to reference. So, like, if the game is an answer, is that a possible answer? Because then that was about the game. Anyway.
All right. Clue number 1. Associated with good directions. Often advertised as just the second word. Some say they have a lot of soul.
Souls or soul?
Soul. S-O-U-L. Some prefer the bottom half.
I always prefer the bottom half. Ah, dear. Moving right along.
Sweeter than their cousins.
Say that again.
Sweeter than their cousins. Final clue. This leafy upper part of a root vegetable is served as a side dish in many southern restaurants.
Barry.
Barry.
Turnip greens?
Turnip greens.
No,
I,
the first
there's-
word.
Yeah, I would not have ever in a million years.
So there's a song called Good Directions, and it says, and this line is thank God for good directions and turnip greens.
You know, you remember Barry when I
Oh,
said
that song.
Yes.
very
I'm
confident that
picking
I was
up
going to win,
turnip
Barry? Remember when I said that?
greens.
That
We
feeling is
still
now
got
gone.
time. We're only what, 6
Here
in?
we go.
No, that feeling is gone.
Okay.
Anthony's clues are so much more difficult than I think those are. And maybe that's because there's a lot more sports. I think
Ready?
That might be it.
Here we go.
You lost that loving feeling for us.
Associated with the Joker's death.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Tear gas.
Incorrect.
Damn it.
That was a good
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 guess.
guess, though.
Anyone died of tear gas?
Shh.
Oh,
So
sorry.
somebody has.
Has worked with the Penguin, Spider-Man,
Mm.
Percy Lannister, and Captain Jack Sparrow.
Not Terry Garr.
Has also worked with Lyle Lovett and Tom Waits. Renounced their citizenship in 2006.
Barry.
Barry.
Tom Green?
Incorrect.
Eh.
He's
Back
Canadian
pocket.
anyway.
Well, I thought he
What?
renounced. Never mind.
Once suffered a fatal heart attack, and there was much rejoicing. Final clue. Member of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Who created
Barry.
Barry.
Terry Gilliam.
Barry Gilliam. Barry. I wrote Barry's name on the list. I didn't even have it originally.
Yeah, you said a Monty Python thing. I know.
So,
Yeah,
so
was
the,
like
first,
immediate.
the first clue is he directed the Parnassus movie, the one that Heath Ledger was in the middle of filming when he died.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Responsible for the Joker's death. I understand that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don Quixote.
Doug Quixote?
Yeah, I think it was Don Quixote. He was in the act to replace him.
No, the Alan Dr. Parnassus.
Oh,
Yeah, it was Johnny Depp.
And Johnny Depp.
There's a
and
bunch of people.
Jude Law.
Yeah. The other clues they meant nothing to me.
Okay, so it's Lance 2, Barry 2, other Barry 1, me 1. Here we go.
Forrest lost that loving feeling.
Associated with Aztec.
With the Aztec?
Yes. Associated with clergy. Holds the record for most career assists, single season assists, and top 3 single season game assists in basketball at their alma mater.
I'm out.
Yeah, me too.
Got drafted to the NBA and Major League Baseball by teams from the same town that he went to college.
Why can't there be questions about board games?
The first one was clue number 5. Addicted to the chew, which ultimately killed him in 2014.
God damn it.
Suck it in. Suck it in.
Lance.
Lance.
Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn is correct.
He's dead? Oh my God. He was in my
Lance-
back pocket.
Despite being 6 feet tall and weighing over 200 pounds, he used the shortest bat in MLB history to become the San Diego Padres' best hitter of all time.
My
Wow, he's
one
dead.
of the major league all time greatest hitters. One of my favorite things I ever read about Tony Gwynn was why can't I think? Greg Maddux. He said when you get your control down to a certain, he's like, I never had to throw 95 miles an hour because when you get your control to a certain point where you can just pick your spot and you know where you're going to throw the ball every single time, you can change your speeds, you can change your delivery, you can alter everything you do, and you can always keep the hitters off balance, and you can always get them out, except for that motherfucker Tony Gwynn. Just
Okay, here we go. Established in 1969. Associated with San Diego.
it isn't Tony Gwynn.
Not Tony Gwynn.
Mhm.
Responsible for dethroning a king. Associated with Bobby Hatfield and Bill Medley. TG sounds much better than SFTI. Okay, final clue. Get ready. This 1986 Tom Cruise movie was the sequel nobody asked for.
Barry.
Barry.
I'm wrong.
Very
Top Gun.
Top Gun is correct.
Is it? It was a sequel?
There was a sequel in 2022.
Oh, I didn't let you finish.
That nobody asked for.
Okay. I didn't hear
so
2022.
good though.
So in 1869 is when the program, the Top Gun program started.
Yeah.
It's in San Diego. Yeah, it knocked Michael Jackson's Thriller off of the #1 album. But I was laughing because before Forrest was saying you lost that loving feeling. Is what Bobby Hatfield and Bill Medley.
Mm.
Thought I recognized the names.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Ready, Forrest? This is got a rap thing in it. Clue #1. Winner of the 1992 Best Rap Video at the Much Music Video Awards.
The what?
The what music video awards?
The Much Music Video Awards.
The MMVAs, obviously.
Yes, obviously.
Associated with the 1996 Summer Olympic Games in Atlanta. Associated with the real Slim Shady. Associated to the guy with associated with the guy in the window. Appeared in Charlie's Angels. Final clue. Former MTV show host who was the only person to show up to accept his Razzie Award.
Oh, crap. I remember that story. But I don't know.
Who the hell was it?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Tony Gwynn.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, the other Barry said it before.
Yeah, I was just thinking Tom Green.
Tom Green.
Oh,
Yeah.
duh. Oh,
I was
duh.
thinking it, but I was trying to connect it.
The backwards man.
Bill
the
Cosby
backwards
showed
man.
up for his Razzie Award for Leonard Part 6.
Did not.
He did. You can I watched the video where they called his name and because he made a big deal of it. He walked down to the stage and he actually crawled up onto the stage without using the I mean, I shouldn't laugh because he's a horrible human being, but he showed up for his Razzie for Leonard Part 6. Or maybe it was Ghost Dad. It was one of those two.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
I would have got it right
Dated.
had Bill Cosby not done it too. That's what threw me off.
Yeah.
Originated in Cleveland, Ohio. Used early on by the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. Associated with Valentine's Day and Kansas City.
Barry.
Barry.
Telegraph.
Ooh.
Incorrect.
Telegram. What's
Incorrect.
that?
It's those are both one word.
And you can't just keep
Oh, yeah.
guessing
Right.
words.
Yeah.
Again. This
Okay.
one? How about this one? How about this
Teaspoon.
one? Was it this? Was it telegraph? Was it
I meant to say
telegram?
grab,
Was
and
it
graph came
telegram
out.
ad? Was it telegummo?
Oh,
Was
stop,
it?
you fucking
But those are
hammer.
the library rules, aren't they?
Clue number 4. Also known as a Chicago typewriter. Lance.
Tommy gun.
Tommy gun is correct. The next clue is
Telegram.
associated.
And this is
Telegraph.
why you're not at the gathering, Lance, because you have no friends.
The next clue is associated with songs by Royal Republic, The Clash, and Warren Zevon. Lance 4, Barry 3, other Barry 1, me 2. Here we go.
Here we go.
I have more than the normal, but not a ridiculous amount or more.
Good.
Clue
Item
one.
number 71.
Associated with bears. Has been seen in Triple X. Associated with Atlanta. Suffered from Bell's palsy.
Oh.
Joined the Hall of Fame in 2019. Final clue. Often considered the greatest tight end in NFL history.
Forrest.
Forrest.
Tony Gonzalez.
Yes.
Gonzalez is correct.
I don't feel like anybody does that anymore, though.
No, well, I mean, now the game's changed. When Tony Gonzalez was catching 90 passes, that was insane.
Oh yeah, trust me, I'm a Broncos fan. I fucking hate Tony Gonzalez. And then when he went on TV and he was so likable, and I had to like him, and I was like, damn, this guy's so likable. Like, oh yeah, I know all about Tony Gonzalez in his game. I'll take Shannon Sharp every day, though, every day. And Gronk.
Okay, here we go.
I thought, as long as you don't say Aaron Hernandez.
You say it 3 times in the mirror, you get nightmares. Barry, that's a joke about an NFL player who ended up committing murder. It was a football joke. Just wanted you to
Hey,
be
he's innocent. He's innocent of all charges. He died innocent.
Oh, Barry's gone. Okay.
He put a thing he's got to get up early or something. I don't know.
Did you
Gotcha.
read about that though? Like the way that like basically all of his convictions were waived so they could retry him, and he knew that he was going to be found guilty, and that's why he killed himself. So basically, what happened is since he died innocent, he was an alleged murderer. Then like his kid that he had with like his girlfriend gets his pension. Like his football pension.
Huh.
So like it was like yeah, looking at it was weird. Like it was like everybody knew I mean, if you had thought about it, everybody should have known that he was just gonna kill himself. But anyway.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Purchased in 1967. Released in 1969. Released in 1972. The creator famously said, if I knew so many people were going to read it, I would have written it better. Related to family business. Final clue. Often revered as the greatest film of all time.
Barry,
Forrest.
Barry.
The Godfather.
Godfather is correct. They
I wasn't
they
sure
bought
about
the
the
rights
thing.
to the movie 2 years before the book was even finished.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I make an executive decision and offer two points if anyone gets this one?
That
You're
difficult?
running the game, so
All right, this is for 2 points. Clue number 1 originated in Hawaii. Associated with Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. Clue number 3 accused of being groomed by Russia. Clue number 4 received 1 electoral vote for vice president in 2016, which was taken away and given to Tim Kaine.
Sure, Barry's really kicking himself for missing this one.
Yeah.
Became Fox News's favorite Democrat for her outspoken views against Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the DNC.
Oh, I love her. Oh my God, why can't I think of her name? I love her. Forrest.
Forrest.
Tulsi Gabbard. My
Tulsi
girl.
Gabbard is
My
correct.
girl. I love me some
Forrest
Tulsi.
gets 2 points for that.
Love Tulsi. Tulsi Gabbard. Loved her since for the Democrat. She's one of the few Republicans. I don't know if she's a Republican full blown now, but she's one of the few that I actually like.
Independent, but she's against gay marriage and transgender rights.
Well, that's not why I like her. There's other things. I just wanted that to be known. That's not why I like Tulsi Gabbard.
She's very non. So we are down to the final 4.
I've never even heard of her.
Oh man,
You
she
haven't
was,
heard
she was
of
on
her?
the
She was
universal basic
the
income
most-
train.
She was the most Googled person during that series of Democratic.
Well, in all fairness, that's because
Wait.
she's also very, very attractive. Like she's
Okay.
objectively much better looking than just about everyone else on the stage.
I don't know about that.
Kabuki
She
says
was
she's an
she was a
asshole.
trained soldier. I mean, she obviously takes very good care of herself. I mean, she was a veteran.
It's still anybody's game.
Anybody's game.
Because
Except for
actually, he's got
Barry.
like 50 other questions.
Here we go.
Yeah. Son of a.
Clue number 1. They used to be red. Clue number 2. They can be letters or numbers. Clue number 3. They're based on percentages. Clue number 4. There are no E's. Clue number 5. Sometimes called scores. Final clue. They show how well you studied.
Lance.
Lance. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Barry.
Barry.
Test grade.
Test grade is correct.
I was gonna say I couldn't figure out what I was
The
like,
grade.
That's grades. But I was like, what T? But
Team grade.
That's why I had the Godfather thing.
Top grade.
Okay, here we go. Associated with number 26.
The Gralphabet.
Associated with a clergyman. Okay, Forrest may get this on this next clue. Mentioned in the song Riding Rims by them Franchise Boys.
Oh, them one. Okay.
Thought them franchise boys were a one-hit wonder. Because they got Party Like a Rock Star. I don't know that stuff.
Comes in two shapes. So number 5. Honey, cinnamon, chocolate, and chocolate chip. Final clue. These fun-shaped snacks from Nabisco have been popular since 1988. Five.
Barry.
Barry.
Teddy Grahams.
Teddy Grahams are correct.
There's still bangers. Oh, my wife picked those up sometimes. Oh,
26. Teddy
Wow.
Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States.
did he invent Teddy Grahams?
Okay. We have 2 left. Barry is in the lead with 6. Lance, you could tie. Forrest, you are out. Okay, here we go. Number
Oh,
1.
that's what they are.
Related to traffic.
Again,
Yeah.
deja vu. Previously on Deja Vu.
Used as a plot hole in video games, cartoons, and anime. Title of popular hidden picture puzzle adventure game.
Say that one again.
Title of a popular hidden picture puzzle adventure game. When reversed, it refers to the period between normal and 40.
Barry,
Barry,
The Gap.
what was that?
The Gap.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Can be considered an interval. Final clue. Measured in seconds, minutes, hours.
Barry.
Barry.
Time Gap.
Time gap is correct, and Barry has officially won.
Cool.
Yeah, Barry.
Last one for prosperity. Here we go. Clue number 1. Associated with a train. (2014) film featuring Brie Larson. (1974) film featuring Lauren Hutton. (1980) movie featuring Bruce Boxleitner.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I
I don't know who that is.
Clue number 5. The main character dies at the end. Final clue. This song reached number 16 on the Billboard Top 100 in 1979, and some idiot always sings the chorus at the weekly poker game.
Forrest,
Forrest,
the gambler.
the gambler is correct.
Such a good song.
Where's my
Yes.
True Grit?
Nowhere,
Yeah.
nowhere.
Where's my The Gimp?
The Gimp.
Go get the Gimp.
I thought you were gonna go to the Gathering.
The Gimp's sleeping.
The Gipper.
Used as a plot hole in a certain film.
Tailgate.
The Gimp.
Where's tour
Well done,
guide?
Anthony. They were good questions.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
Mm.
I'm sure you did.
I'm sure
Where's
they
my
made
TV
sense in
show
your head.
Top Gear?
Top Gear, yeah.
There was a ton of
Where's
them.
my movie Tank Girl?
I had to stop myself.
Yeah,
That girl, Tank Girl,
I think you did a great job.
Tom Glavine.
F the haters.
Tiny genitals. You know, that would have been good. Oh, it's too
Related
late.
to Barry Dublé.
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Who?
Oh, right.
Tiny genital clue.
Okay. Only something Barry Dublé would say. Oh, hey. All right.
So Barry the Gimp has to. I almost did the Gimp, but then I remember that Barry puts Doug Gimp, D-A, on his thing. So I was going to just give clues of all the things that are in Barry's room. Associated with gallon jugs.
Half gallon.
Associated with smoky room.
Spooky room.
Smoky.
Hot boxing.
I tried to find things and pick things that had like repeated clues.
All
Like
right.
I wanted to do the Top Gun one before Tony Gwynn because I wanted to do related to San Diego because I knew someone was Tony Gwynn. There you go.
There you go. Well done, Anthony.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for suckering me into that.
No, you gotta make one, Barry.
I'll go make one. Oh, without Murray.
I gotta set a reminder to remind me to make one.
Barry's
What
just
is
gonna go
it?
online and order the fourth edition for next
Yes.
week. And
It'll be here by then. What is it, 15?
16, technically.
16. Okay. And 6 of each?
is it 16? Well, yeah, because it's 16. It's 14 for the game, and then there's 2 tiebreaker ones, right? That's what it was.
So, what's up?
What's
What's
that?
up?
Is it rap is like scissors. It always loses to rock.
Nice one.
I don't know about that, Lance.
Why
You
can't it
have
be
been-
both? You know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's not like yours,
Yeah, you can always walk this way.
dude.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you what. I don't know if it's only for Spotify Premium or if it's for everybody, but Spotify DJ is amazing. Like, it's super cool, AI driven, and it's its own little, it'll give you 5 songs and be like, hey, here's one to throw back to 1994 that we think you're really gonna enjoy. Maybe a couple songs mixed in there that we think you might like. Or hey, here's some new artists that we think are really gonna be about your style. Or this next 5 are gonna be out of your comfort zone. But there's just like this button you can hit and it'll just move to the next 5 set of songs. It's super cool. Oh my goodness. Like, here's the music you're listening to routinely on, Thursday nights and stuff like that. It's crazy. It's crazy. Highly
that's-
recommend.
I
thought that's
don't
what
like
Spotify
that.
Premium. No, I don't like that either.
I don't like any of the stuff that I hate, like getting in my car and my phone saying, "Oh, it's only 15 minutes to here," because I've been there on the same day of the week several times. It's like, "Oh, you're going to Home Depot. It's only 15 minutes away." And I'm like, I wasn't going to Home Depot. Or how did you know I was going to Home Depot? Like, oh, because it's Tuesday, and every Tuesday you go to Home Depot.
Wow. Your phone does that?
My phone, yeah. So Thursdays, I usually go to karaoke. My friend does karaoke, and I go hang out with him. And literally, when I get in the car, it tells me how far it is to the place.
I'd hold a gun to its head and say, shut the fuck up.
Mhm.
I don't. That's
I bet-
scary. Your phone telling you what you're doing.
Well, because that's like the thing is like You know, you can put in like your home address into your phone.
Yeah.
So when you do your directions,
Yeah.
but if you drive to the same place like every day, like to go to work, if you drive to work every day, you don't have to put your work address in. It'll tell you how, because it says, oh, at this time of day, you should be going to work.
Yeah.
Going to the same place. That must be work.
That'd be a scary concept. You know, every day you get in your car and you go, oh, you're going to work today. Enjoy your day. Profit bien. Profit bien. Speaking French now. Work well. And then the next day, oh, you're going to work. Enjoy your day. Give your boss a kiss. And then all of a sudden you got this like psychic imprint on your brain. And then the phone said, kill your boss. Okay.
Well, that's
Kind of
not how
Twilight
AI
Zone-y
typically
thing.
works.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what the next thing in AI is, but I don't think it's murder. I don't think that's what any of the big companies like. That's the pivot we're making.
Have you never seen Terminator?
Wait, I saw
Mhm.
4.
Basically what
I didn't see the
happened.
rest of them.
That's basically what happens.
Have you seen any film in this with science fiction and robots? That's basically what happens. Forbidden Planet.
Hey.
What else?
You know what? I'm enjoying the ride until we get to that point.
All right. Well, we have some after dark stuff to talk about anyway. So
All right,
Ooh.
good. Go. Goodbye, everybody. I'm gonna go have a cigarette and I'll be back for the after dark.
all right, we'll be
Shouldn't you have the cigarette after the after dark?
thank you everybody for listening in, so on and so forth. We had fun. Not really an early boom, but I am tired too, so definitely need my sleepy time. So
We got time to make some music after dark. Boom! I just got done with all my work too.
all right. Good night, everybody.